Hello, friends, and welcome back to SuperJump number 2. I am Popgun, joined by the Magic 8 Ball, and we're going to be kicking off Wave B to all you lovely people watching around the planet Earth today. We're going to be starting off with a interesting match, as they always are. Daytona, a pickup of some players that are banned from Low Ink, I guess is the best way to describe these guys. Uzi, Logan, KM, and Footman 4. Going up against White Lotus, who Magic you recognize as formerly Takeover.
Right, and especially looking at that tag, it's giving me such a throwback. You can't see it, but you'll see it once they get into game. That little T, the little Tau, and then the Sigma for Takeover. That is a team that was really, really strong at the beginning of Splatoon 2's competitive life cycle, and into a little bit of 2018 and at the end of 2017 when the game launched. They were very strong, like top 12s in international events. These are players who have a very seasoned history, and it's going to be great to see them back.
It is, and no, they are not 5 Cheese Toast or Acropora. That's just a little trick to make sure you guys were paying attention, which you are. Congratulations for you. Game 1 actually is Clamblitz at Humpback Pump Track. I think we're a little left over from the last side, but still, this is a best of 3, not play all 3. Yes. And when you see a team that's traditionally coming over from Splatoon 1, who got results back in 2017, that transition is not always smooth. And yeah, they were Div 1 back in the day, but that doesn't mean they're as current and ready to go as a pickup team like Daytona is, especially when you see them coming out. Well, okay, maybe they've adapted to the meta pretty well. Maybe some things aren't that difficult to translate over.
No, I mean, especially, you get the lowdown from a couple of players who you still keep in contact with, and you say, oh yeah, Squeezer's broken, Jet's broken, everything's a shooter now, and they have the skills to play shooters because, I mean, people played it back then too. It's going to be interesting, though, to see how they work around Clamblitz, which is a mode that came out a bit later on in Splatoon 2's life cycle that a lot of people did not enjoy. And KM getting this first pick and the second to chain it together and starting to move towards this right elbow, trying to get those clams together. This is looking like it's a good first push for the members of Daytona. See if they can actually put something together. It seems like they're fumbling the clams a little bit, Popgun.
Daytona coming out to a fast start and finally fumbling the clams into one player who can make a power clam as they pop the basket. KM working around this right side, keeping attention away from the basket, but the rest of the players from Daytona go down. So an empty push that doesn't really result in anything other than giving White Lotus a mercy clam to work with and control of mid as they start building up their specials and get ready for their first push.
And to see if they can use that momentum to bring it back. They really can't get overextended. This map mode has been killer for players today, especially when they're trying to work around this right side, when nobody really has control of mid. They need to throw those walls, throw those subs, and make sure they can make some space in that higher ground area. But it seems like Giggle ends up going down. Star is going to try and pick up these clams here. That NZAP's so key to making these pushes work with that armor, with the paint. Not looking like they can make too much ground yet, just going to stand for a little bit more neutral. Going to try and make a double-pronged push with this right side and some people in front near the basket.
Yeah, and we've been following Star here, who's just been kind of moving up with their team, recognizing when they have the man advantage and they can capture some space. But again, this is the first match of the tournament, so we're seeing a little bit of I wouldn't say hesitation, but just a little bit of lack of realizing, or just maybe a little bit of commitment issues of when they go in and when not, just trying to fill out each other. But you start to see a lot of clams getting built up here from White Lotus, and again, they have mid control. It's just a question of when are they going to pull the trigger and just try to go in there. One player trying to flank around the right side of the elbow, and they finally do score somehow, but they don't really get any splats to go with it, so it might be yet another empty push coming out this time from the side of White Lotus.
And it's kind of interesting, right? You see these players are trying to use that burst onto the scene. Exactly what I was saying. They need to burst onto that basket area and just hold it down, control it, and make sure that nobody is in that area so that they can keep scoring and keep the ground painted for their color. And they were finally able to do so. It seemed like they had such cold feet before, but now with those bubbles, such an important special to making that happen, especially on something like clams. Very good play by that Squeezer, and now they're able to keep this push going even for a little bit longer. If Uzi doesn't get this pick, it's going to be a lot more clams actually coming in. Finally gets painted a little bit blue, and they're done. That was really, really clean.
And they didn't kill Zay at all. Zay was able to get all those splats, create so much distraction, and still stay alive. Finally, they get taken down, and now the man advantage is in the favor of Daytona, who has still plenty of time left on the clock. They have a Mercy Clam to work with as well. As once again, they're trying to just pull attention away to this right side, and they have a baller to work with too, so they're probably just waiting for the right time. Actually, all 4 specials online, so this is your opportunity to make something happen. Missiles, armor, bubbles, baller being the last one to get pushed out here, but 2 players instantly go down, and now you got 2 players partying in your base. This is a great opportunity for Daytona.
It was a great opportunity, and it got stalled a little bit because Takeover made the right play, or White Lotus made the right play to push forward and push out as they were getting collapsed on from their plat to make sure that that push got slowed down at least a little bit. But that Power Clam jump in is going to secure the lead for Daytona for the time being, and they can still keep this going actually with KM getting a great pick, trying to get that wall bomb, not able to land it on the K-Gal, not going to be able to find the picks just yet. The torpedo barely sneaking away is that K-Gal, and White Lotus has time. Again, it's not over till it's over. But that was a very good turnaround from Daytona, making sure to use that momentum in their favor. Oh, wow!
Oh, how long are they going to hold on to it? No, 2 players going down. Booyah Bomb and Bubbles. And look at all the clams going on. You're not just looking at a lead change. You might get a KO right here if you're not careful. There goes the lead. Ends up being the last player left alive, throwing out some more clams. Oh, no, you don't want to get wiped in this scenario. This might be a KO in the opposite side now, because look how quickly Daytona's able to capture mid, because they have all this free real estate that they got. They're going to build up their specials, which they have been doing. 4 special pushes, and the Mercy Clam to work with right here. This is a scary lead to hold on to for White Lotus.
Very scary. All it needs is 3 power clams and they're good, or 2 power clams and about 5 regular clams. Cam going to sneak by this bomb and is going to land up there. There was so much paint on that plat and it was going to make a good open, but no! They dove forward once again, making the correct play as they got collapsed on and moving forward, getting the wipe and making sure they shut down the push before it happens. Daytona was depending on KM making room, making a split-second decision to focus back while they pushed forward, but they knew it was coming, and White Lotus managed to step forward and take out the play before it happened.
And it's weird because we just saw that right side, but we saw so many people just die off camera in front of the basket, and it looked like KM was able to get the space they needed, like you said. When you just capture the elbow and you can just go straight up to the basket from up top right there, that's usually GG. But I guess just the players on the backside rushed in a little too late, didn't give KM that opportunity to get the splats that they were going to get, or create the distraction they were going to do. So a little bit of too much aggression coming out from the side of Daytona, maybe a little too fast, because KM was in the right spot right there to make the play they needed to win.
It seemed like they were in the driver's seat, right? They were rounding that corner, just finally just in the lead. Oh, but I think the experience coming in there, like, that is such an experienced play to recognize that, like, okay, this is what we need to do against the flank. Something like a low ink team not going to be able to make that same kind of decision.
Well, these guys are well beyond low ink.
Right.
I believe most of them are. I mean, Footman number 4 was on that Molly Whopper team. KM, I believe, was on Heaven's Moonlight when they eventually got banned. So, like, all these players are, it's hard to create these fake levels that don't actually exist, but these guys are beyond low ink and have been getting really strong results in tournaments outside of it as well. But yeah, going up against a team as old as Splatoon itself, not an easy task, but still, they're probably a little bit more current. They got the double armor comp coming out here with Footman number 4 using the Rapid Blaster Deco, which we saw that player use in low ink and just erase chargers a couple of months ago. This time around, going up against the V-Jet.
I think it's a very important weapon that people have been starting to pick up slowly ever since Starburst used it at Riptide. And though it's been slow to get to the lowerish levels, this is exactly the reason why you saw those pop shots getting popped over there when people were clamped up, especially on a map like this that's so claustrophobic. Mikey gonna try and end up taking a fight here, able to at least trade it out. Yeah, that's very clutch. They've got the positioning now, though.
a 1v3 situation, the trade's the best you can hope for. And that's going to slow down the missiles that are going to be coming out from the K-shot. But you do have missiles and bomb rush to work with to help create the lockout, which is Daytona. And the missiles forcing Daytona back into the zone as we see some bubbles coming around up top there, along with the Booyah Bomb. Zay still being an issue right there, but they're able to pull off the trade as well. So a KO situation is getting stared down, but the man advantage is in the favor of White Lotus. Star working around that right side is going to take care of this player jumping in, and they do cap the zone eventually, but a huge opening push from Daytona.
That's massive, especially getting it as low as that. If they can at least just hang on, get a couple more specials at the ready, that double armor coming in like really, really big, they can be able to just stall this out afterwards, right? Like, they can just keep trading back and forth, back and forth. But if Mikey is able to land this Booyah and they're able to go forward on the plat with a couple of members from White Lotus, it could shove them back in and force them into a bad fight on this plat, and it's exactly what it's looking like they're going to do. Logan's somehow surviving, and that's actually pretty big. That's saving that bomb rush might be able to cap this zone and make sure people get off of the fan. Barely. The time is ticking down, so they need to go quickly, and I think they recognize that, but somebody stepped a little bit too far forward. The K-shot goes down over on the right corner, and Logan's trying to fight this one out. No, Mikey's able to clutch it out. Yuzi trying to make a move, trying to get somewhere towards that zone, but 20 ticks left, and Popgun, I don't think they're going to get there.
I don't think they're going to get back to zone. You see KM just trying to force it along that right side, but surely White Lotus is going to pick up on it. Another player jumping back in, and they take care of it. Yeah, it's hard to say that with a junior in a 2v1 situation that you should stay there and try to fight out of it, but with the time that you have left, you're kind of just forced to make bad decisions and just hope for the best of it. But ultimately right there, Daytona, with the huge lead, couldn't really find a way to break out of the lockout, despite the fact that they were able to deal with the squeezers, they not being as effective as they were in game 2, but the rest of White Lotus able to step up there and get the win over Daytona.
I think that Rapid Bastard Pro Deco pick was actually really smart and really intelligent, and just a couple of things go a little bit different on either one of those pushes for either the retake for White Lotus or Daytona's attempt to get back in, and that game goes in their favor. But just it's a very hard weapon to play, and that's why we really only see like the cream of the crop really play it. People like Brand, people like Niagara from the Splat World Championship, who did really well with it and ended up winning that invitational. It's a hard weapon to play, but when you get it in the right hands, it is immensely powerful. So I think it's a good call.
What was the result you looked up for TakeOver? You said they won something in November of 2017?
Oh, goodness. I just had it up. Oh, where was it? It was a tournament. It was a smaller tournament that they ended up doing really well in. They also did top 12 in Inkage, which was January in 2018. I'm trying to find the other result. But yeah, no, this team was a staple team, ranked in the top 25 teams in the West for a long time.
Yeah, and again, like sometimes you see those players that don't play in a while come back, and they find a little bit of difficulty hanging even with mid-level players in the game that where the game is today. But obviously, I mean, that was a back and forth game. That was an even match, which is usually suspiciously hidden when you see a result like 2-0.
Yeah.
That was a suspiciously close 2-0, but going into the favor of White Lotus, who is a team we might not see on stream again, but you should definitely keep an eye on. There's definitely some sleeper teams listed throughout this tournament, like we saw in Wave A, like we're going to see a lot in Wave B here, who are going to pop off and make alpha brackets, and might do some damage on Sunday as well in alpha brackets. So White Lotus is definitely a team that we'll need to keep an eye on going forward.
For sure. And especially Daytona, too. Like, they could have a run in a redemption bracket. They are very much capable of doing that. I'm expecting them to do well in their pool. I'm expecting them to do well beyond it. After playing this morning, I'm realizing the redemption stage, that just a 2-set gauntlet changes everything in how the format is played and how it's perceived by the players. Because you can go into a match, maybe lose a couple, and you always know that as long as you're getting to that top 4, you've got a chance to just make it to the counterpick stage, make it to the point where you're in a more comfortable position, you're warmed up, like you're ready to go, and you can give it your best shot. It's a very different way of playing, and I really like that. SuperJump has this format.
Yeah, you played in Wave A.
And I did.
We actually had you on stream. Just another a team you guys played against, Tunes. Another example of a team that just maybe not flew under the radar, but maybe not everybody kind of recognized until you start popping off, and you're like, oh, you have our attention now. I believe that team ended up in beta bracket. They went to Redemption's finals and lost to OFBO.
Yeah, and that was a good game.
We're just kind of looking around. Some behind the scenes stuff here. It was hard to look at matches for round one because even though this is Swiss, it is still seeded. So you're kind of looking at most matches being 2-0s. And I'm looking back over the sets that are completed. Most of them are. Every single one was 2-0 except for Watercolor, who took a game off of Xylophone Global. So,
oh wow, okay.
Obviously, that's the match we should have gone to. But is that the only one?
Looks like
Inception. No, Inception took a game off of Wipeout Punks, and that's
okay.
it. Everything else was 2-0. So, or all the ones that are done. I guess there's 3 more that are in progress. And if you want to follow along with us, you can look at just type in !bracket in chat. And the bracket will pop up, and you can see all the great action that's going on across this tournament. And yeah, it looks like mostly 2-0s, but things are going to start heating up, especially in round 3 and 4, as we're going to be looking for a match that we can put on stream in the second round here.
And obviously, there are a lot of teams to follow along with, right? Like, there's a lot of teams from a lot of different regions in this tournament that are doing well, that are performing. And we actually do have a couple of other streams that are going to be casting different games from ours. In the meantime, they are going to be doing I think it's EBTV and DSB are doing different streams, like following a couple of different matches, maybe focusing more on the European side. So if that's your flavor, if you like that, go watch their streams. They're doing great casts for this as well, and we really appreciate all the work that they're putting in to make SuperJump as awesome as it is. And it's awesome that we're getting it at this many games casted. Which is something that we haven't had the chance to do in the past, but it's really cool.
It is, yes. The French stream, EBTV, this morning. There is a German stream going on right now. I believe that is DSB.
Right.
Is doing that. So yeah, like we said, this is a global event. We have teams from Oceania, Japan, Europe, South America, North America. I don't if there's any penguins in Antarctica that found their way into this tournament. I don't know, but we've got most of the known human species on this planet covered up to this point. Oh yes, Magic.
Yes,
that is a match. That is a match we want to go to for sure. I like that. I like that one a lot. This is behind the scenes. We're also picking the matches here, and we're gonna give you guys the best possible ones we can come up with. And if they end up being not exciting, well,
blame us.
Well, no, we blame you guys for watching this. This is I never blame.
Yeah, blame the viewers. Just gaslighting central over here.
While we're waiting for this next match to get on here, again, we do want to thank you guys all for coming out and watching. This is going to be 4 rounds of Swiss, and as you saw, it is best of 3, not play all 3. After this Swiss stage, we're going to turn it over to 2 other commentators, and they're going to bring you through a redemption bracket, which is going to be the 2nd and 3rd place team from each pool,
and
a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place team from each pool, and they're going to be thrown into a single elimination bracket where 3 will play 4, and then the winner of that will play 2. This 2 seed. But those are all 3 teams from different brackets, so you're not going to see any repeats, at least on day 1. And redemption bracket, like I said earlier this morning, for those of you who weren't awake at 9 a.m. Eastern time, we're pretty exciting. We're pretty competitive. And more importantly, I was kind of thinking like somebody was going to slip up and fall into redemption that wasn't supposed to. I think Grape Juice beat I Heart Oranges, which was maybe
That's
an
crazy.
upset, maybe not. I would have picked Oranges to win that one, but Oranges ended up in Alpha anyways. That's why you have Redemption Bracket. But you're still going to see some interesting upsets along the way. But the usual suspects, the FT Wins of the world, the Kings, and the other monsters from Japan, I believe, made it through unscathed to Alpha already.
Doing was all business this morning. That's what it seemed like. It sounded like they seemed like it was all business. They were on a mission, and they're going to be. I think they're currently playing in the Nintendo tournament that's going on right now. It's not being streamed.
Yeah. Well, that's why they played it Wave A. Yeah, just
right.
get it out of the way.
Get warmed up. get up early in the morning. Make sure that they kind of just gut check them. You know. We ran Quad Beacon. It was a quick match. Anyways. Everyone's getting through.
We're going to be shortly bringing you guys a round 2 match, which is going to be Naptime taking on Wipeout Punks, 2 name brand teams. And I guess the question with Naptime is Avril, Shogun, Arrow, Draco, and Sleepy. Is Avril going to be using the V-Jet, which I know they hate using, or are we going to finally see some Charger play?
I don't think that that Avril has been playing Charger recently. I remember seeing something on Twitter about a little bit of a lack of confidence, which you hate to see, but it makes sense. I was feeling it this morning when I played against Cascade Duck Crew. Charger just it did not feel like the moves. Just I got double armored, I got bubbled, I got missiled. It was not a good time. And especially with someone like Wipeout Punks, who's not afraid to just shove you in with a bunch of armors. Jim John, a fantastic junior player, I believe. They are going to just run you down. I think that Naptime is expecting that, and although they might, I believe Naptime has a 5-person roster, and they're going to be rotating people in and out. But if Avril plays, I highly doubt it's going to be a Charger.
Yeah, Raven, Little Stanley, Yovi, the captain of Wipeout Punks, not to be confused with Captain Happy, who had on Wipeout Punks as well. One of the stronger teams in the SAC kind of ranks that we see. Wipeout Punks was very excited that SAC was coming back, but they've been around for a couple of years now, I want to say at this point. At least a year for sure. So these are 2 teams that are well established, probably have played against each other in some other tournaments as well. Probably have scrimmed against each other at some point. One of the few teams that still scrim nowadays is as we're just waiting for Splatoon 3 to kind of rear its ugly head.
You don't play.
I know you don't
play
do
drafts.
Well.
You don't play a draft every once in a while, Popgun, just to keep fresh. That's not how you practice.
I have not done a draft. No, since Sindao Q went down, I have not done any drafts. Honestly, I fell in love with that system so much that everything else just seems like the Walmart version of it, and I just can't deal with it. And I've done so many scrims over the course of the past almost 4 years now that it's just so burnt out on having to wait on NA players to just get into a lobby. But I'm not going to complain about pickups, right? Because that's the state of the game that we're in right now. But I love when we see 2 teams that are actual legit teams that have history, that have something that the audience will at least know. And that's what we're going to see here in Wipeout Punks and Naptime. So I'm just excited in general to see this match as we just kind of wait for the players to go through all the Smash or Start.gg shenanigans that we see here, having to accept the friend request and then verify scores and all that stuff. It's once a year that I remember how joyful Start.gg is for the players.
Please give us lobby codes, Nintendo, please. Anyways, no, it was very sluggish this morning too. It was not fun.
To be fair, no,
it makes it so easy. It makes everything a lot easier.
We haven't had to call anybody from a Starbucks to start a tournament yet. So this from last year to where we are up to this point, knock on wood, it's been a smooth tournament so far. I mean, there's hiccups here and there, but that's just kind of any tournament. But we've at least gotten through to this point without having to actually get a human being on a phone to figure out what an issue was. Round 2, we're going to be starting off with Rainmaker at Black Belly. Avril is in, but as it is a requirement on this map and mode, you have to use C-Jet. So I would expect to see that over a Charger. Especially, is it John who can use the Jet? There is a Jet player for the side of Wipeout.
I believe it's John, yeah.
We're going to see some C-Jet versus C-Jet action. I'm calling it now, and I don't think that's a hot take.
And Stan's a crazy player as well. Stan will just go absolutely ham. I know Naptime has some really unique comps. Like, they played a double ink brush composition on Inkblot zones on us one time. That was hilarious. They are very creative with what they can do. But I'm expecting to see a C-Jet. I'm expecting to see some kind of crazy pick from Draco or Sleepy. And I'm expecting this one to be a hard-hitting bloodbath for this entire set.
And if you want to get rid of all of your channel points and then the team that you voted against ends up winning and you want to look like an idiot because they're going to clip it and put it on Twitter and talk about how you didn't believe in them, you can vote your channel points right now. Predict who you think is going to win this match. As you can see, our fancy little graphic shows the current percentage here. Naptime, the early heavy favorites. But I don't think it's going to be... I see this one being close, if not into the favor of Wipeout Punk slightly, if I were to do a little bit of an odd prediction here, but it just kind of comes down, honestly, who wins this opening Stingray versus Stingray battle. That
you're the commentator. You're supposed to be unbiased.
Oh, I'm unbiased. I don't have a dog in this fight. But I think we know what's going to happen in the first 10 seconds here. Stingray versus Stingray coming right out.
Oh, here we go. The stand on that Nautilus, again, going to be that main slayer for Wipeout Punks, but Avril just kind of holding on, just waiting for things to happen. Deciding to be the later Ray is going to let this one actually just run out fully before popping her own. Looks like they're gearing up, and Captain Happy is in a very interesting position over on this left side. Finally, the raid does come out, but it's a little bit too late. One does end up going down to the side of Naptime, and John is going to be ended up getting caught out here. The raid just made a little bit of an opening, and getting that second pick, that late pick, allows Draco to come back in, and this looks like it's good play for Naptime.
Yeah, this is going to be your opportunity. Yeah, I kind of talked about this yesterday on Friday Night Frenzy. This map is kind of like Wahoo World in the sense that you can only push when the bridge is down. Here you can only push when the Stingray is down, and they're able to get to 44 if the Stingray comes out, getting wiped in the process. But there you go. It's going to be a little bit before Naptime can get their Stingray going, and with that wipe right now, you got to strike now. You can't waste too much time getting through mid.
I mean, you literally have a timer, right? Jets can get that Ray in 10 seconds, and if you're not in before then that push is boned. Look, already gone. And the Ray is coming out instantly. The Inkjet come online trying to find the Ray. Not going to be able to do so. And that's going to be... ends up going down for Wipeout Punks. They've got a couple of good things going for them right now, but Sleepy needs to get taken down before they end up getting John. Finally ends up going down. Arrow tried to save them, gonna end up going down for it as well. That's not what you want to see if you're on the side of Naptime. But Wipeout Punk's doing a great job of managing and making sure that they punish the mistakes. They're gonna get up that ramp. That's gonna be the lead. And Popgun.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Okay, yeah, they got lead. Okay, they might still get more than that, but there's no Stingray in sight and a lot of paint in the way for John to get up and add to their lead. I was impressed that they got stopped right now, but now they're getting all the points that they need to get a comfortable lead. The Stingray finally coming out, but damage already done, 19 remaining, and this push still isn't over.
It seems like Naptime really... Yeah, now it is. It seems like Naptime is really trying to play at their own pace with this playstyle, right? Like they're trying to set low, like wait for the Ray, wait for everything. Whereas it seems like Wipeout Punk's kind of trying to push that pace, trying to make these plays, trying to make sure that they can keep Naptime off of their feet, right? And it's kind of that battle between like a standing statue that wants to hold their ground and slowly move forward, and someone who's trying to get it off its rocker. And that's exactly why ends up stepping up and not going to find anything. Sleepy with these bubbles, trying to come out and find Stan in that Inkjet. gonna try and get the landing. Stan maybe not getting it. Finally, it seems like Naptime is getting the pace that they need to get this train rolling. There is a jet, though, with a ray, and that is the one thing that's going to stop this push.
Well, that's what you were talking about, is that they were just kind of standing back and letting Wipeout punks come into them. Well, now you're in a stance where you need to move up and make the play, and that's exactly what Sleepy did right there. Rainmaker working around that right side, and Sleepy kind of stuck away from the action as we see a counter ray coming out here. So there's a little bit of an opportunity to get something going because the C-Jet is down, but Sleepy needs some more friends up top there. They're doing a good job of holding down that space, that little jail area right there, but they don't have enough bodies to start pushing up even further and capture more space that they need to get lead. Yovi doing a good job of finally cleaning out Sleepy and resetting the Rainmaker.
And that wall, Kgal is so good, especially in that tight corridor. Just putting down that wall stops so many pushes in its tracks. And that's really the power of Kgal in a lot of these situations. It's just like, ooh, I've got a wall. You literally just cannot move forward, and you have to get a special out or something to remove me. It's so tough to deal with. But the players that can at least like find a couple of different angles, and if they have a couple more players up, they can double team it. But in that situation, they didn't have it. Finally, the ray and the missiles come out. They're going to put a stop to this. It's going to be a little bit slow. Not a lot of time left. And Arrow's going to try and find this pick and mid with the help of the ray. Draco's going to try and follow up. Ends up getting pushed away by the wall. And a couple of picks, as well as some pop shots from Sleepy, is going to be able to land. And that's going to be 2 down. Maybe finally Naptime gets their opening.
Well, every time somebody pops off and gets a double, 2 more players on the backside of Naptime go down, so they never really have true man advantage. And now you're in a situation where you're probably just going to get 1 more push, and all you got to do if you're Wipeout punks is build up that Stingray, stand and spawn, and wait for the perfect opportunity to pop it down. The NZAP does go down, and Sleepy's throwing some bombs around this right side, so that's probably the route they're going to take. It's going to be hard to push it the left side. If we could look at the Rainmaker real quick back over the mid, as we see some bubbles getting pushed up here. And Draco with a Stingray to work with, a couple are getting taken down. But again, the last player left alive was the Stingray, and that's all she wrote.
It seemed like they were really trying to play chess with each other there. Because like there was a couple of very interesting little micro movements that I saw at the end of that game that indicated to me like they're playing like a very tense strategic battle. Now, Naptime tried to move forward, tried to make a lot of space. Wipeout punks backed up. Like they were all standing up on that upper area, protecting everyone there. Avril made sure not to pick up the Rainmaker, and even though it was close by, just did not pick it up. Made sure to have that Stingray in the back ready to go when they popped it. And at that point, it was just a matter of timing. They were coming in from every different angle on the side of Naptime, trying to collapse around it, but then right at the last moment, as soon as the ray started moving up and climbing up that wall is when they popped the ray, and at that point, it was too late. And the timing on that ray was so clutch from John. That was a really wild game.
It just kind of shows why you see Jet on that map. I believe the Nautilus was still alive for Wipeout punks as well, but as long as you got that Stingray and you pop it at a time where the Rainmaker's like climbing that wall or they don't really have space to like move with it just to wait out that ray, you're just kind of stuck and there's nothing you can really do about it. But again, that's why you want to get that lead early so that you can be the team that's defending on that map instead of having to make a hero play to bail your team out. So now Clan Blitz at Sturgeon Shipyard. We don't really see this map mode too often, but if you were looking to change up your comp a little bit from what you were doing in the last game, this is a great opportunity to do just that. As we see Naptime's already readied up, they probably know what they want to do here, but Wipeout punks, again, they have a little bit of flexibility in their roster as far as what they want to do. Even though we see the same 4 players in here, they can switch up their comp a little bit to match the playstyle they want to have specifically for this one.
Yeah, like Stan can switch off of that Nautilus and go something that's a lot more quick-paced on like a splash or a K-shot. And I think either Captain Happy or Yovi can switch to something like a little longer range, like an H3 or a K-Pro, if they really wanted it. I know usually it's Raven that's the K-Pro player for Wipeout punks, though, right? And Raven's not here.
Yes, that is true. Right. I forgot Raven on the roster, currently not into the lobby. It's fair enough. 2-day tournament. You want to make sure you got a deep roster anyway, so that everybody's awake in time to go. Game 2! Wipeout Punks up 1-0, looking to close out this one and move on to the next stage. This is, we're dropping the Stingray and bringing out the missiles. In Stan, coming out not with a Nautilus, but a Squeezer this time around. Looking pretty similar with both comps. The only real difference is the T-Tech over the K-Shot.
Actually, and the Junior over the N-Zap, which can make a big difference. That Junior can pump out a lot more bombs and a lot more armors, as well as keep down a little bit more paint instead of you having that fighting power. But if you have two things like the Squeezer and the Inkjet on the T-Tech, like, you don't need that fighting power, and usually the bombs can suffice for that pressure, and that's the trade-off that you're trying to go for, and that's how they're going to play around. And they're going to be kind of trying to wall back Naptime here. Sleepy on this left corner, trying to paint around for bubbles, make sure nobody's coming in too quickly. The clams are on the ready for the Wipeout Punks, and it seems like they're trying to move forward now. Here comes the Inkjet. There's an armor at the ready. I believe it already got used. And the Bubble Blower with the missiles and the Inkjet ends up popping too. And Cappy's a great Inkjet usage going around, blocking the clams, and they're going to be able to score this and get at least a couple more in, as well as sticking around in those bubbles.
Yeah, you want to get below 60 on your first push, and they're able to do just that. If they can't find ways to get more man advantage into the favor of the defending team, and they're able to get control of their snipe, that's kind of the key area you want to control. And whether you can get up in that snipe or not is dependent on how much time is on the clock when the bridge rises and falls, as you see the bridge starting to go up there. But yeah, I was curious why Naptime was interested in defending this side that they're at right now when the bridge was up, because you saw the bubbles coming through the right side, but now you just lost complete control of your side of the map, and Wipeout Punk's starting to have a party at the enemy base.
Yeah, they are. They backed up and kept those special meters high, and they were able to come right back to it. That was really, really clean, the fact that they just knew exactly when to come out, and I think that they're going to be doing the same thing here. Look at Stan jumping out. Not going to be able to save the bubbles this time, but is going to at least leave a little bit more time for people like John to make stuff happen all the way down to 20, and that is a tough push to come back from if you're on the side of Naptime. There's still a lot of time, still got half of the game left at least, but that's tough.
For the first time, they have control of mid, so they don't have to be on the back foot. Again, they're waiting for Wipeout Punks to come into them, but now they're at a situation they can't wait anymore. Yeah, you still got half the game left to go, but you have control of mid, you got the clams built up, you need to take advantage of that, as we see Draco trying to camp out. Oh, the bubbles defending the Inkjet! What a great play by Stan, saying, nah, you're not just going to camp that. I'm taking all of these players down. The last player forced to kind of retreat right there, and that is not where you want to see the enemy squeezing.
Able to dip and dodge around for a little bit, and able to bait one of the teammates to finally come back. Sleepy on that Squeezer, able to hit down the Squeezer for Wipeout Punks. Gonna have a couple of trades going around, though. Seems like Draco really can't get things going on that K-Shot, and that's arrow going down as well. Finally, it looks like this is the knockout punch for Wipeout Punks if they can keep this one going. Avril stuck in the mist. Draco's trying to find a way to keep people back, but all they need is 3 more clams, and that's going to be the set for Wipeout Punks. 3 going down. They've got the clams at the ready. Yovi's painting a path, and that's the clams. That was so clean from Wipeout Punks.
That's from start to finish. They only surrendered mid once. And when they were doing that, just able to use the specials, kind of bait. That Inkjet just kind of worked as a bait for Stan's bubbles to come in and get a huge double leading into a triple that just flipped the game completely out of control into the favor of Naptime. But Wipeout Punk's looking very good in the early goings of this Swiss stage, already 2-0 and dismissing Naptime in the process there.
Not much else you can say. I mean, they knew what they needed to do. They played clean. They utilized their comps, the slight differences in the comps, because there weren't really that many differences, but they utilized those slight differences to their advantage with that bomb pressure, forcing the back, keeping the wall back, and then able to just hit that go button with those bubbles and Inkjet. I mean, that's exactly what you need to do on clams. Is you need to, and this is what I was trying to say during the takeover set. You need to just have that burst, right? Like, you need to just, because there's oftentimes it's just like a wall that you need to get through, a couple of choke points that you need to just open up wide and then just get control of one pretty significantly large area around that clam basket for you to have a sustained push. And I wasn't sure if White Lotus was going to be able to do that because they weren't used to playing like that, because that's really not a lot of what you do, except for like maybe a little bit on zones, but even then it's a little bit of a different way you have to go about it. And so that's what I was curious about, and Wipeout Punks did that fantastic lead.
Yeah, and they basically had the same, not like weapon per weapon same comp, but it's still that same kind of shooter with a jet backing you up kind of comp. But even though they had the roughly the same kind of comp, that their playstyles were completely different. Naptimes was way more passive, especially in the neutral game. Wipeout Punks, way more aggressive, especially in the neutral game. And that's what allowed them to get these huge leads early on, and then just find and pick and choose the opportunities that they wanted to take to close out the game. So Naptime just a little bit too much, starting off behind the 8-ball, if you will.
Yeah.
In a couple of those sets. Just the different kind of dynamics with the same comps. But if you're going to run that kind of play style, you got to be a little bit more aggressive with it, as the Wipeout Punks just kind of showed there. And with that, we're going to start doing some ad reads here, I believe.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff that's going on.
Is right. Okay, that is going to be in Worcester, Massachusetts. It is going to be one of the first times that they have Splatoon at the event, and it is going to be a very nice convention center right next to Boston. I believe there are going to be some commentators who are in charge of running that thing, Siren and Rissa, who are doing a great job putting it on.
And also, hey, do you want to take the Big House one as well?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I should take the Big House one, too. The Big House is going to be the first tournament crowning a Splatoon 3 champion. I'm going to be doing the organizing for it. It is looking like it's going to be a great event already. It is also part of the Panda Cup in terms of the Smash, Melee, and Ultimate tournaments. It is going to be a very big event, and I'm sure it is going to be even bigger once Splatoon 3 hits, once everyone is hyped for that game, and there are going to be just a lot of people who are raring to go, seeing who's going to be the best on LAN, how it feels on LAN, and I'm so excited to be putting on the tournament for that.
Yeah, how it feels on LAN after we get some patches and we know how the game actually works. that first day at Riptide, that's going to be really awesome, but it's also going to be extremely awkward. Big House, what is this? It's going to be like a month after the release, so we'll have a little bit of time to actually figure out this game by then. So yeah,
about a month.
That's going to be a really hype event. When they announced that Big House was having Splatoon in general, that was crazy. But the fact that it's going to be the first major Splatoon 3 event at a Smash Super Major, that is awesome. That's a really awesome thing. I know you're going to be there. Wife and I are definitely going to be there to some extent. Probably not playing, but it's pretty close for us, so we're going to make the trip up there as well. But yeah, that's going to be awesome.
And of course, there's also the legacy of the Squid House, that amazing tournament that happened in one fine December evening in 2020. And of course, they're helping us out. We help them out. It is a mutual community thing, and we're happy that they want us there, you know?
Well, I'm happy to be there.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't make it to any of these in-person events, don't you worry. There's still plenty of online stuff. I remember a while ago somebody was tweeting out something with all the lands popping up. Well, does that mean all the online stuff is going away? No. The online stuff is where this community is always going to thrive, and we got a few more online events that are coming your way. First off, the Launch Point Draft Cup It is in double digits on August the 7th at 5 p.m. UTC. Double digits, I believe this is the 10th edition of the Launch Point Draft Cup. To celebrate LPDC 10, we'll have a first place prize of a full set of stickers, I believe, of their mascots. Libra, I believe is how that's pronounced. But that's not all. There will also be a raffle for 3 lucky Launch Point Draft Cup players to win a set of stickers too. You have to be in it to win it. So sign up now over at the Discord link that I believe somebody's going to be putting in chat pretty soon. If that doesn't tickle your fancy, how about Minnow Cup from the MIT organization? Minnow Cup is back for more single mode fun, and what better way to say goodbye to Splatoon 2 than with Splat Zones? Make a splash in Minnow Cup Splash Zones edition on Saturday, August the 6th at 5 p.m. UTC, 1 p.m. EDT. Follow at MullawayIT on Twitter, then join the Discord server and grab the Minnow Cup roll for more information.
Now, the last thing that we have to mention is that the donation prize pool, I believe the last time we checked, was at around $672.94. Please do donate. This is a community-funded prize pool. We want to give back to these players. I believe it's going to be like a 35-30-25 split for the top 3 teams. We want them to be rewarded for the amazing plays and things that they have been doing for the scene for a long time. And again, this is a celebration of Splatoon 2's life cycle, and we want this to be as big as it can be. We want this to have the most prizes that it can be.
Yes.
If you have the money, please consider donating.
Absolutely. And of course, it's not just cash prizes that are on the line here. A lot of the stuff we just kind of showed you guys, especially the lands, prizes for that are on the line here as well. I believe the top 2 teams get passes the shine.
Yes.
The teams that win the brackets outside of Alpha Bracket will be put in a raffle for passes to Riptide. And also the top 2 teams from North America / South America and Europe are going to be invited to play in the Splatoon World Championship. So
yes,
it's not just cash prize on the line this time around. It's a collaboration of a ton of different orgs across the planet providing prizes for this event. So there's a lot on the line here for SuperJump too, as we got through that massive ad read. Did you guys sign up for all that stuff? Did you join all those Discord servers?
At least from the Discord,
right? Come on.
Follow the Twitter. Follow the Splatlands Twitter at I believe it's just Splatlands LANS on Twitter. Please to get more updates, because there will be updates out. After getting freed from the basement, I'll be shifting my focus there.
Speaking of the basement, has JPEG made an appearance? We've seen JPEG in chat.
I've seen JPEG in the chat. I have seen JPEG. I believe is out of the janitor closet.
Let's go. Progress being made here at IPL. Exciting times. Round 3 should be starting momentarily. You know, I gotta say, normally we do things on Battlefy. And obviously this is on start.gg. As I'm just kind of watching this here, it seems like the Swiss stage moves a lot smoother than it does on Battlefy. It seems like if you have the next match populated already, it doesn't make you wait as long as like your matches are available. It lets you play is what I'm looking at here. So that alone seems to be kind of a nice feature as we're just kind of looking at this thing now. But as we're looking at some of the scores still going on in round 2, a lot more competitive action going on here. Tempest tied 1-1 with Uprising. OOBI tied 1-1 with Hyper BLTs Flowing. Dollar Store Chew-Its 1-1 with Courtney's Noodles. And look at some of the completed matches. Do we have some more 2-1 results to go across there? Doesn't look like it, at least the what I'm looking at initially. But things are starting to get a little bit more competitive as we head into rounds 3 and 4 of a Swiss stage here.
Oh yeah, like I think in pool B3, Limeade is now going up against Jackpot. That would be a fun set to watch. But like, just a bunch of good, solid teams like Xylophone Global facing Red Sun. Cosmic versus Tatakai, which is minor random rep and eclipse. Now we're getting to the good matches. Once round 3 hits, that's when you start seeing who's who.
Yes. And let's see. We're just kind of thinking about the teams going through here. There's no like standing button I think you can look at. But again, if you want to follow along with us live, you can just type in !bracket and you can see the bracket yourself, all the great matches going on, how Wave A already ended up. So like half of Alpha bracket and Beta bracket, half of all the brackets are already kind of determined. Or I shouldn't say half, that wasn't all the teams from Wave A. It's not a full 50-50 split from what we saw right there, but most of the matches, or all the matches from Wave A are done and recorded. We're just waiting to figure out how Wave B ends so that we can determine what the rest of the bracket's going to look like for tomorrow.
And already it's looking like it's a great tournament that's shaping up tomorrow. We were talking about earlier. A lot of the heavy hitters are coming through, like about where we expected them. And tomorrow we're going to have the cast of a lifetime, right? Like we got K-Bot and Rissa in the morning, we got Melonberry, we've got Nine and Austin, like a lot of heavy hitters from the cast. We're starting all the stops.
We're starting off with K-Bot and Rissa.
Yeah,
that's the opening act. That's just to kind of show you where we're at right now. Are we technically in round 3? There was
we are
a
in
match.
round 3.
Okay.
It's weird how Smash GG does it. Like they isolated, like the rounds are isolated to the pools, right? It's not like it needs to like go across all of the. It doesn't need to wait for all of the games. It just needs to wait for just that group.
Yeah, and I just got to keep refreshing it though. There was a certain match that we had selected, and I don't know if we're ready to start talking about that yet.
I believe it's been called.
So where did it go?
It's in B9.
B9, that is right. It was it's A2P. Yeah. Well, while we're looking for that, I guess there is still some. Oh, there it is. It's up on stage. We got it already. Okay, Magic. Macaxeira. Macaxeira. There's a song to it. These guys played in Friday Night Frenzy season number 3, and it took us forever to pronounce it correctly. Macaxeira. Going up against a team that needs no introduction. One of the oldest teams in Splatoon 2, Assault and Pepper. These guys won Low Ink back in 2019, 3 years ago, and still are ticking around, have been at pretty much every land that I can think of. Maybe short of Genesis 7, but have definitely been at Riptide, Low Tide City. So a team that has been around for a long time, doesn't really need much recognition there. But Macaxeira has been coming onto the scene starting last Ludi season, have been playing really well. I believe this is you remember that Rising Stars team from like I want to say October. This is not the same thing, but there's still some players from that you and I commentated a long time ago. But Macaxeira has been extremely impressive ever since then. After they got criminally underseeded in Ludi because we didn't know who they were because they changed their name right before the season started. But we know who they are now, and this should be, on paper, a really close matchup.
This is going to be quite the set. And we want you talk about the legacy of Splatoon 2, and this is a team that has grown a legacy of their own, right? Assault and Pepper, a namesake team. I know everybody knows this team. Everybody who's anybody knows this team. And at least they've heard of the name. They've heard of the players. 17 Rats, man. Like, how could you forget that? And once you play them in solo, right?
That's Neebles, right?
Yeah.
The brush player? Yes. And now here's the question. I want to know if Jeff is playing or not. Jeff's a really strong player. The first time, you're talking about how long these guys have been around. I keep track of everything my team has done in a little notebook. The first time my team played A2P was in Coast to Coast number 2.
In SAC Season 0?
This is Season 1, I believe.
Okay.
This was July 20th,
Right. Okay. Yeah. 'Cause that's when
2019
Coast to Coast
when
was
we played
introduced.
those guys. So yeah, it's just, and it's, it's good. We talked again, pickups are great, but when you've been a name brand team that's been around for so long, it's easy for us to commentate because we can talk about the history, and that's what the audience likes to know. They like to know history of certain players and certain teams. And quite honestly, I don't think A2P has had much of a roster changeover at all. Like maybe a player dropped here or there. I think King played for them at one point. I mean, obviously JPEG a couple of years ago. But this, like, Soren, Jeff Payne, or maybe no, that's the Payne might be a new addition, but like Soren, Jeff, and 17 Rats have been a part of this thing for a long, long time.
Right.
But Macaxeira has been a pretty strong team as well as the channel points. Hey, you guys were pretty off with the channel points in the last set, but I guess you guys are more than happy to be that.
I mean, hey, new blood is always hungry, right? Like, they are ready to do this. And especially Google Lima, assist, a crazy Charger player. That Charger hits shots that I've never seen hit by the majority of other players. Great, like, they can do awesome things, and they are young and they are ready to go. So I'm excited to see if they can do this.
Is this, they had a tent player. I know Neko, I can't think if Neko was like the Nautilus or the tent, Neko Mata there. But they do have the capability to use tent at some point with the roster that they have. They can use Nautilus. They also have a junior player mixed in there somewhere as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's they can go a little bit quote unquote off meta with the things that they do. And I believe that is a South American team as well.
Yes.
Macaxeira. So might be one of the few or one of the first South American teams we've had on stream so far today, which is good to see. Good to cover all the regions to some extent here. But yeah, I'm expecting, I don't care what you guys predicted, I'm expecting this one to be a little bit closer. At least on paper, it should be. And hey, shout out to A2P for having all the most of their pronouns up there. That's pretty cool as well.
Let's go.
Another nice feature of Smash.
Put your pronouns in Smash GG. Start GG, whatever. It's the same thing. The links go to the same place. Anyways. It is cool.
Pain was on Pure Divinity. Like, that's the Pain I played with at Low Tide City, right? Like, there's only one Pain in this community.
Yes.
So Splash-O-Matic, very strong player, especially on that Low Tide City team, Non-Fiction. Pain did not get enough credit for how well Non-Fiction played in that tournament. It was a lot to do with the insane splash play that Pain has, formerly of Pure Divinity, which was a really strong team in their own right. So that's a really great addition for A2P to have as well. So you're thinking like what? Like a Pro, Brush, Splash, and then I guess you just got to mix in the armor somewhere.
Soren's usually on K-Shot as well. And it does seem like they have... Is that Char? Is Char playing for Assault and Pepper
today? Yeah, yes. The Crustacean Crusader logo on there. So yeah, there's some Dapples that are going to be showing up. You're right, Magic. That's who that is.
Gotcha. So, Char's a dually player, previously of Crustacean Crusaders. And
Pain's not in there. It's Jeff. So it's Soren, Jeff, 17 Rats, and Char coming out from the side of the Salt and Pepper. Moda, Asus, Tadashi, and Guga Lima coming out from the side of Macaxeira. So yeah, no Pain, but yes, you are right. You guys are gonna see some Dapple action going on here, which might be hard to do at Manta Maria.
You're also gonna see some slosher play, especially here on TC Manta, where it's the verticality is really important. You can slosh up onto that bunker. You can slosh up onto top left, which is a really important place to hold and to get a hold of when you're trying to push. So I'm expecting Jeff to go slosher. They're already readying up. They've been raring to go for the set. It was taking a while. We're gonna see if South America can show up today. First time that we've had a team from there on stream, we think, and it's gonna be interesting to see if South America. They're in the picture now. They're one of the places that we have to think about when we're talking about international events because they are getting a lot stronger.
South America mid-level is the strongest mid-level region without question. There's no fat. It's all quality teams across the board there. So we do see some double armor comp coming out there with the Nautilus. So a lot for that Inkjet to work with as the Nautilus takes the approach into their own snipe, starting to push down there with their first wave of armor, and the second one instantly getting popped out. But this double armor doesn't result in anything. In fact, it's the Macaxeira that's taken the L so far in the opening round. Double armor, no splats with it.
And Char on that slot, on that Kensa Rapid, as well as Jeff on this Kensa Sloshing Machine, going to be able to put down a lot of chip damage and area of effect damage to make sure that people cannot hang around those corners, cannot hang around cover, and will get popped if they come close, and if they're in that set distance that they need to be. So this is going to be a really tough comp for Macaxeira to break through, but if they can use those armors effectively, if they can use that Inkjet and the missiles to displace everyone, they're going to do fine, but they need to make sure that they don't go down before all that happens, and it's exactly what ends up happening. Googlima trying to trade out is going to be able to do so. To end up going down, they're going to have an armor ready to at least hold back the members of A2P from coming in like a blob, like a squad. And finally, the tower's starting to move. Jeff trying to splash down on this, and Haugen, I think that this is going to be a strong push for A2P, unless Googlima can come up huge.
Oh, wow. You would, no, there's a bomb right there, no! You would think that opening push they had where they basically got a wipe would have been a huge lead, but no, A2P couldn't even clear the first checkpoint thanks to the heroics of the K from the 96 gal, who was able to get a triple here. But yeah, A2P's been able to get a lot of splats and a lot of assists, but it's not resulting in anything sustainable on the scoreboard just yet. And now it's a 2v2 situation, so you can't really do anything. Jeff being the last player left alive, and now it's just the Nautilus who stands alone. Basically a double wipe.
Yeah, they just double wiped.
So 3 minutes. Did we say this was going to be a bloodbath? It has been so far, but eventually somebody's going to have to clear a checkpoint, you would imagine.
Eventually something's got to give, right? Like, eventually somebody's going to be able to stand on that tower for just a little bit longer than the other team. Like, that is going to be... They can't end on a 79 push. They can't end without breaking one checkpoint. Wambota trying to find something here, trying to put down the paint. Maybe an armor and an Inkjet might do the trick, but an armor does come online for the members of A2P. 17 rats trying to fight off this Inkjet, swatting it away, saying, you can't be there, go away, shooing it away. Finally, everybody's still standing left alive after all those specials go down. There goes 17 rats, and this tower is at least getting moved a tiny bit. But these bombs are so crucial for the members of A2P.
Hey, they might find a way to get lead here without crossing the checkpoint. That might be all you need in this kind of defensive game that we're seeing right now. You know, the Nautilus player for Macaxeira seems to be playing it more like a pseudo anchor, because they've been getting 9 armors in the first 3 minutes, but they haven't really been able to kind of capitalize to try to be too aggressive with it. So they seem more content with just kind of holding space and kind of holding that upper area, but Jeff's going to take care of that real quick, and now the bunker belongs to A2P. And if they can find a way to deal with this last player along the left side who seems to be baiting and somehow is not going down, eventually does, and 2 more players go down for Macaxeira as A2P is finally able to clear their first checkpoint with 1:25 left on the clock.
You can tell that Soren wants to get off that tower and go to help the teammates, but needed to just trust that the brush and the rapid were able to get that pick, and they were, and is now going to result in them getting this second checkpoint, which is massive. Chara's going to be able to stall this out a little bit longer, get jumps in, make sure that this tower gets chugged along a little bit further, and having this stall here in the street is actually so important, especially at the end of this match, just making sure that they can't get this push going really soon and just bleeding that clock out, especially after they get this really nice push going. They're going to have the armor online, they're going to have the missiles ready pretty quickly. This is going to be a very tough push for Macaxeira, and it looks like it already is going south.
The awkward spot to pop the Inkjet on the grates now is going to be effective, but only going to get a couple of shots off of it. As they're able to capture this first checkpoint. Now, the second one's going to be extremely difficult, especially if they're not going to find ways to get any splats, but they do take care of 17 rats, working around a lot of players up on that bunker, but nobody's guarding that left side. They do cancel Jeff's splashdown, but if they can't control that left side as we see the last 2 A2P players over there on the rings area, they're not going to find a way to clear this checkpoint, especially with that blaster just being a nuisance. Finally gets taken down, and Jeff jumps in along that left side as well. 1v1 with the Nautilus, and now Jeff's the last player left alive. can they do something here to stop this push as it goes into overtime? And they don't really have an answer for this splashdowning for some reason. Will that cost them the game? It won't.
Wait, what? Tadashi! I can't believe how crazy they went right at the end, but somehow, some way, 17 Rats gets on the tower and is able to just dance around for a little bit longer, and A2P, once again, on tower control, Manta Maria swipes away a game from right underneath them. Holy cow, I can't believe it, because they were positioned well. They were not positioned well for that last push. There were two of them sitting in street and two of them sitting on the ramps going up towards that street area. They didn't look like they had any kind of positioning to hold that back, and it almost lost them the game. That was crazy.
You know, I was racking my brain thinking, why did Jeff use that splashdown right there? But it's probably because they were out of ink and they just needed a refuel. Because I'm thinking, oh, you can't stop. You got to keep firing. You're the only one left alive. But they had to do that splashdown, probably for the ink refill. But while Jeff doing a good enough job getting all those splats, won a lot of 1v1s on that left side there and just keeping the enemy off the tower just long enough for the rest of the teammates to spawn back in and stop them out there. But still, a lot of I didn't get to see the final, but there was a ton of armors popped by Macaxeira. If they could find ways to get their Slayers a little bit more involved into the action, it seemed like they couldn't really find ways to get out of their own snipe or their own bunker area and start pushing up with the armors that they have, then they're going to be just fine in this set. But Jeff definitely feasted in that game. Jeff is just a strong player. If you let the game go on long enough without getting that lead early or establishing yourself at some point, you're just giving that player more and more time that they need to start popping off, which Jeff finally did at the end there.
A good game, a great game, and it was very back and forth for the entirety of that. And right at the end, we finally got the extent of those pushes and the extent of the aggression that they were kind of tiptoeing around, waiting for their moment, and each team did, but barely. A2P had the just more solid defense, and Tadashi got a little bit too crazy, a little bit too caught up in getting those picks, and ended up not protecting the tower at the right time. Unfortunately, this is Rainmaker, and it's going to go a lot quicker. And if I know anything, A2P knows a lot about this map mode, and they are ready to play this one's heart out. Jeff getting a nice pick here on the slosher, using that high ground to its advantage, and he, with the bomb rush, is going to be able to slosh over this and make sure that people are not standing over there in that rocks area trying to get this pick on Google Lima. There goes Soren. They already got two people up on that plat area, and Jeff is going around the other way. What did I say about this being fast? This is going at Mach speed. The splashdown is going to come in, try and pop that Rainmaker. Wait a minute, no, the 17 Rats is all the way up the base.
You can't fall down right there, and now A2P's in a great position to almost in a great position to get the KO. Soren being the last player left alive, and it's still there. Ultimately, okay, they're able to find it and take care of it. Still, oh my goodness, A2P. By the way, they got 5 bombs. That is a double bomb comp on that brush. I saw the build they had coming out there, so they're going to be able to pop this Rainmaker extremely easily when they want to, and there's a lot of time on this clock, and we know how Rainmaker works out, but A2P, they know how to put points up on the board, and they know how to continue to be aggressive with it. So they'll kind of take this lowest approach that we're used to seeing, defense by offense, keep the Rainmaker on the enemy side of the map.
Right, I mean, like, that's the thing, right, is that if you don't want that Rainmaker to come in super fast, you need to make sure that there's enough distance for them to travel so that they can't come in that fast. As Booyah able to slow down that Rainmaker and put a lot of distance between the Rainmaker and where it wants to go. Char doing a great job here on this cape road, trying to just dance around, throw some bombs, let Jeff go in and have some fun. There goes Google Lima trying to fight around this block on the mid area. Only one of them going down. They're going to be able to at least defend this if A2P wants to try and come in. They've got the specials online to return to them. Wamota, though, is going to get shredded by those missiles. Jeff ends up going down as well. This is looking like it's A2P's game still all the way.
And it's the missiles and the combination of all the bombs that they have. There's just nowhere to go once you get missiled because you're constantly dodging other things as well. And again, all these trades just kind of coming out here. Macaxeira having a lot of difficulty establishing control and getting man advantage and locating all of these players. That's what's so frustrating about playing against a brush team, is that you got to locate that brush at all times, and if you can't find them, odds are they're behind you and it's already too late. So just look at all the pressure the team with the huge lead is applying onto the team that has to come back in 2 minutes right here.
And Needles does such a good job using those splashdowns aggressively and making sure that he can't get hit. Jeff able to use the chip damage from the teammates to end up getting that Nautilus Inkjet down. And this is looking like it's going to be a lot of paint on the ground for Macaxeira, but A2P is able to hold it down and make sure that they can shark out in those areas and deny them that area that they wanted. This is looking like it's going to be a good push, but that Ray doing work on A2P.
And you know where the Rainmaker is? You can kind of push it along that left side, but a lot of times teams just get hyper fixated on pushing it to the right. But going the left's a pretty good route as well. If you can get the enemy team focused on the wrong side of the map, you get a ton of points going there. But obviously able to take care of 17 rats, sharking around in mid, trying to look for an opening to go through, and they got a long distance they got to go. But if they can find a way to get several splats right here, there is a window, but I don't know if it's big enough for them to slip past and get the lead. The Nautilus player does go down, as well as the K-Shot, and now you're just kind of stuck in no man's land with nobody really to help you except for your C-Jet. Wait, never mind. You are the C-Jet. Your help is all gone. 45 seconds left to go. Nowhere really to go on that push.
It looked like they had the opening there too, but A2P did such a good job at just waiting up in the wings, making sure they get their specials down, making sure they throw down a lot of the paint, because like that, while that distance from elbow to the pedestal looks like it's a long way, Splatoon players, like Inklings, are fast, right? Like they can swim very fast, and that they can traverse that distance in probably 2 seconds if there's nothing stopping them, but they were able to put down enough to stop them. Fortunately, Soren is not looking, and Tadashi is able to stop them as they're trying to get this one ready. The missile's coming in. It's only 17 rats up, and Jeff is kindly on the respawn, trying to come up on this top right area, but the missiles are coming in. This paint is coming in. They need to get the specials ready. One ends up going down. They end up getting a trade. The Inkjet's coming online. They're trying to shove them away from this area. The Rainmaker ends up going down. That's another one for A2P. That's going to be the set.
You see all the kind of pieces lining up, all of the dominoes just lining up, but then a stray bomb, again, so many bombs, just one slip pass takes care of the Rainmaker, game over. And again, a couple of windows there for Macaxeira to slip through, but that's the difference between having a 30-point remaining lead and a 10-point remaining lead. If it was just 30 points, you might have just seen that Rainmaker YOLO it and just try to slip through everything and try to get lead. But when you know you have to get so far and you don't really think you got the bombs to pop the Rainmaker again if you were to die, like you can't do an extended push. You basically just got to hit a home run and go for it. That causes a lot of hesitation, that causes you to take less chances and just hope for somebody to make a miracle play, which that Inkjet at the end was in a great position to do, to try to get a double and just get a complete wipe in there, and Macaxeira could just walk to the lead. But just a little too much to overcome there. That lead, extending the lead like they did, is the reason why they were able to hold on at the end there, forcing Macaxeira to be more passive in their final push.
And that's so tough, right? Because they got shoved in quite early, right? Like that first push from A2P, and after that, they were on the back foot every single time, and A2P knows how to play that game. They have, like we talked about, they have the history, they have the experience to know how to back up, to keep things steady, to make sure that they trade out in just the right way and put everything down before they can end up making that push where they're comfortable. And they do it every time. I mean, every single time they were able to do it. That's impressive. That's the mark of a good team.
And again, the ability to hold on to that game one is why they don't have to go to a game three. It looked like Macaxeira was going to escape with game one there, but instead, moving on is A2P. So what is it? Are they 3-0 right now?
I think they're 3-0. I could be very wrong, but I believe no. Both of those teams were 1-1. Both of those teams were 1-1. So they're moving to 2-1 on the side of A2P, and Macaxeira is moving down to 1-2. They're gonna have to fight their way back up to 2-2 if they even want a chance at going to the redemption bracket.
I don't know if you can go 2-2 and make redemption. You might be able to. What are these?
You
like
should
8,
be
9 teams.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
9
it is
teams.
Mathematically possible, but you're gonna need like tiebreakers to work into your favor as well,
Right?
Which is always fun. So Destiny out of their control for now. But still, we're going to be taking a look. We got one more match that we're going to be bringing you guys before we toss it over to some other commentators for redemption bracket, as we're just kind of looking through some of the other scores here. Uprising was supposed to be one of the stronger teams in this, right?
Oh yeah. They were. I'm pretty sure they were first seed in their group, were they not?
They might be. Wipeout Punks is giving them all they can handle right now, tied 1-1.
Ooh, that's huge. That's massive, actually. If that upset happens, Wipeout Punks goes straight to Alpha. That's massive for mid-level.
That would be crazy. But I mean, that's what they're staring down right now. Best of threes are scary. I don't care who you are. Best of threes are really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Just because all it takes is one, especially when Rainmaker is a part of
That's exactly what I was thinking. Just one bad Rainmaker game, and all of a sudden you're staring down, losing your shot.
Yeah, a game 3 with everything on the line. Thimble IHOP escaped New Horizon 2-1. Thimble IHOP back on the rise. We've seen them kind of dip a little bit, but I believe they've solidified their roster, and they're getting back up to where they kind of left off around this time last year, I feel like. Other matches of note that may be of interesting here. I guess I got to look at Acropora took a game off of White Lotus. Hello.
Really? That's wild. Good,
1-1
good for
right
them.
now.
Acropora is a team that has obviously been on my mind because Skepidillions is a prominent commentator and player in the scene at this point. I would pose.
Yes.
And so good to see them. Good to see them doing well.
Unlimited Woomy United, a team they're making a lot of headlines across mid-level with their kind of funky comps that they're using here. They went 2-1 over Lucid in round 3. Hey, Splat-A-Lot Jupiter! They got a 2-1 win over Red Pacific. A lot of more 2-1 matches starting to rear their ugly heads here. As we're just kind of looking for some more matches of note that were a little bit interesting here. I think that's mostly... Healthy Diet food groups avoided upset to Cold Coral.
How are the Fruit Loops doing?
Healthy Diet went 2-1 over Cold Coral, avoiding an upset right there.
Ooh, okay.
Up the Ante taking down Blue Moon 2-0.
Oh, good for them. Okay. How's Up the Ante doing? They're 2-1? Okay. Let's see if they can...
Redemption as well.
Let's see if they can get to Redemption. Okay. I see you. Where's Raze? Somebody plug the Metafy. Ray, isn't that a... Yeah, there it is. Raze coaches Up the Ante, and they've been doing very well under his guidance. As someone who has been coached and sometimes still does get coaching by Raze, would highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Speaking of Cherry Limeade,
that is a good point. Actually,
they were playing Are they in the same group as Helix?
No. They're in the same group as Jackpot. And they did end up losing to Jackpot.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they are in the same group as Helixio. Yes, they are.
I was curious in seeing that matchup if it were to happen.
I don't think it's happened yet. Actually, it might be happening next round.
It might be. If that does,
the group hasn't populated.
I'm interested in that one for sure, as we're seeing some other matches here. But as we see, I don't think any major upset. Starburst is on their way to a 4-0 unless INKD Inked, who won Friday Night Frenzy yesterday, if they have anything to say about it. 4 tickets to victory, please. That's another one of the favorites to win the entire tournament. Another one of, I believe that is Tic Tac team.
Yes, I believe it is. I actually don't know the rest of the players on that roster, but I know it's looking like a good team. Takabon Remaru? Wait, I didn't realize he was playing with these guys. Holy. And Isabel, the Tetra player.
Yes, yeah, Isabel, I believe, is a sub for them, so they have like 5 players, or they should have some 5 players.
I don't know who that 5th player is, but I can...
Kings moved on earlier today. FT Win moved on earlier. Jackpot is in here right now. I'm assuming Jackpot has not lost anything up to this point. So all the usual suspects are moving on. Should be able to avoid, barring any crazy upsets, should be able to avoid redemption and move on to the bracket that we all expect them to be in. Ice played earlier this morning. Ice Cube, I'm sure they went on. I Heart Oranges had to go through redemption because of grape juice, but they were able to move on as well. And once again, if you want to follow along with all the stuff we're kind of looking here, type in ! brackets, and you can get a good look at all of the action going on. Not just in Wave A, but what happening right now in Wave B as we just wait for round 4 to start. We just had a lot of matches kind of pop up right here. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look-see. And again, this is all coming from you thanks to the wonderful people at IPL that made this stream happen. There's a lot of people going on in the background. There's a lot of people in the IPL staff channels right now making sure that everything is running smoothly. Make sure that people know that IPL is loved for this because they should be. This is the biggest tournament of the year, two years in a row. And the work that they put on to make this thing happen, to make it look as professional as it does, it takes a lot of man hours, and they don't get paid for it at all.
Quote unquote professional. They put us on. How professional can this be, really?
Right, exactly. Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Shout out to our streamer Toasty as well. We have to have multiple streamers. So there's 2 streams in the same day. We had Ink Fair on, who always does the low ink streams, was on earlier this morning, and Toasty helping us out this time around as well. As we're just waiting for a few more matches to kind of pop up right here as we're waiting for round 4. I guess we're just waiting for a few round 3 matches as well. But yeah, as I'm just noticing this, don't take this for anything low ink wise, but just seeing how Swiss is working here for start.gg, I'm kind of liking it better.
Kind of liking it. It's kind of looking pretty nice.
No, I mean, it's like getting your players registered for start.gg it takes a lot more work, obviously, but it's always been said that like start.gg is better for the TOs than the players. I'm starting to see how this is pretty nice for the TOs. Just looking at this thing.
Right? It makes things a lot easier. You can do a lot more creative things with it as an organizer. Especially like the way that we're doing the progression into the redemption pools. Like that's something that you never could have done on Battlefy. And although Battlefy is a bit easier for the players to get in and just go on and play, the time that people put in on Smash GG really makes it worth its while. Especially with things like the pronouns, with things like match stats, easier to grab, things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I believe we might have found a match. I was waiting to see if Cherry Limeade and Helix were going to play against each other, but they're not. Helix is stuck with a date with Jackpot here. So I think we're looking at here.
What are we doing?
I'm kind of looking at Azult versus Grillers. We're giving you guys some behind-the-scenes stuff. It doesn't really matter. But there is some other match that might have popped up.
I was looking at a match, Wisp versus Unlimited Woomy United.
Oh,
since we had been talking about them.
Yeah.
Yes, go that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. If we could head up that Unlimited Woomy United, that is a team that has just been. You know, I don't know if it's fair to say they're a surprise team with what they've done in SAC. I mean, yeah, it's a surprise to us, but when they keep making top cuts, when they keep making grand finals of that event, at some point it stops being a surprise and it just starts being the norm. So it's gonna be fun to see those guys. They've taken a huge step forward since they won Low Ink. I want to say that was
a while ago.
That was in October, wasn't it? That was. You and me did that one.
Yeah, no, we did. I remember casting that one, yeah.
They did that double roller thing.
Right, they have the Carbon player and they had the Flings or the Dynamo.
Right.
And they ended up tearing it up. I mean, they really are an impressive team to watch with how they've been doing. I believe they were coached by Krim of Cherry Limeade, if I'm not mistaken. And they it shows. They are doing a lot of things creatively and they're doing a lot of things that are fun and interesting. Shadolphin, I believe, is an H3 player for Wisp, wrong side. I believe nothing has been just making massive, massive steps forward as just a mechanical prowess to behold and supporting the team. It's what they've been doing has been more than impressive.
Yeah, and I've seen so many players, prominent mid-level players, tweet out things like, I'm just not used to seeing what they do, and I don't know how to beat it. Which is, we see nothing but quad shooter across the board, that we're just kind of lulled to sleep into thinking it's the best way to go across the game. And maybe it is, but when you're not used to facing things that are off meta, it can kind of catch you off guard. It's like, oh, Glugas has that range. I wasn't expecting to die at this distance, or oh, I forgot rollers can like one shot you right in front of the face if you lose track of them or something like that. It can kind of sneak up on you. And I'm not saying that Uwu's comp is like gimmicky to an extent, but it's definitely something teams aren't used to. Teams have been constantly saying we're not used to fighting against it, and we don't really know how to do it yet.
There is a video that I watched a long time ago. It's a YouTube video called Things of Beauty, Super Smash Bros. As a spectator sport. And it talks about Melee and the meta that was developing around Melee back like 6-7 years ago. And the analogy that they made was to baseball. And that how the less people throw a knuckleball, the more valuable a knuckleball becomes that a pitcher can do. And that's kind of what we're seeing now develop. And as someone who plays very non-meta weapons, a lot of times people just won't expect what a charger can do, right? Like, there are just so few people playing charger that people are like, oh, right, I can't stand there. I forgot about that because I just don't have the practice with it. That's what we're seeing develop.
And we're going to be seeing Wisp here. Did Ali join with... I know Ali's playing with Sub Power Up, but Ali's officially joined Wisp after this tournament, I believe, as like a full-time player. Exactly. Who else is on Wisp? I know they've been playing recently. They got Shad Dolphin, right? H3?
Yes, the H3 player. They've got Kira, Kera, a really, really good Gal player, aggro player.
Oh, they got Apple. I saw Apple light people up on an IPL stream. I think it was SOS. Apple won like K-Gal, I believe. It was just ripping people apart. Is that Apple from like Deep Fried Octolings? I want to say it's hard to tell,
I don't remember exactly
what's from,
but that sounds about right. And so all of these are just really, really high level mechanical players that like I met Kara from TikTok, and like I saw their plays, and like they were like Div 3, Div 4 at the time, right? Like, and they were on the come up, and I was just like, you're playing like a mechanical god. Like, I hope that you do well. And like seeing them do well now it's been really cool. And it's players like that are have really fun stories to follow.
Wisp, like these players are not new to competitive, but this is a new team forming from some players, which is something you don't really see nowadays. It's kind of hard to form a new team in the past, like over the course of the summer, just because like you don't know what weapons everybody's on your team's going to be using in 2 months. You don't know do you even need a support player? There's no armor. Do you need an armor bot? Is that person switching to something else?
Okay.
And by the way, there is somebody else in this team for Wisp. You see what I see, Mr. Z.
Is that Mr. Z?
That Tukey Z. That's Charger.
Holy, that's who they have subbing for them.
Listed as an alternate. Yeah, that's not a bad sub to have for your team. That's a pretty good Charger player.
That's going to be very interesting to see how it messes with compositions. For your point about Splatoon 3 and everything, I think that making a team now, so that way you have defined roles that you can just like try out different weapons and things when you get to the game, I think is actually more important. And I think that like finding people in that chaos as soon as 3 comes out is going to be worse for people. I think that having a team beforehand that you can work with as you go into the game is more important. But that is all I will say on that.
Well, I'll say this. It is important to establish people that you can vibe with now. So like you at least know who you want to be playing with going forward. But yeah, to another clash of 2 established teams. Again, we're expecting like a Glugas maybe and a Roller to some extent, but I think we're going to see more of a K-Gal. I don't know what Mr. Z would do on a map like this, but I mean, you could get away with using Charger if you really feel like it. And that's exactly what it's going to be, a scoped fire fin. And what in the world am I looking at there? Squiffer to go with a flings. Oh, not a shooter inside, eh?
And that is crazy, but Squiffer actually puts out a ton of paint alongside the fling zone.
The carbon just went straight for Mr. Z. Just beeline for it. Didn't even give him a chance to get established.
Didn't even give me a chance to talk. Okay, very well. I believe that's Uzi on the carbon, right? Or is it Woomy? No, it's Woomy on the carbon. All right, very well, Woomy. I see you. Gonna get taken down that time. Going a little bit too hard on that carbon, but that is very impressive, the fact that they were able to sneak up on that. And if a carbon needs to be doing that to be effective. Here comes Kara on the K shot, not able to do anything, ends up getting sideswiped by this Flingser roller. Gonna get shot down, peeking out a little bit too much after taking that greedy shot. This is looking like it's Wisp's game in control. It never really looked like they were too in trouble, except for when Z went down earlier. And now it's looking like Ooze on the back foot.
Yeah.
How are they gonna break it with this comp?
Poke the bear early. Mr. Z coming back out and getting 3 KA instantly. So they're like, oh, okay, that's how this is going to be. I'm going to fire right back at you guys. Some more players going down. But now we see nothing with the Squiffer getting a tap shot in a splat of somebody right in front of their face. I'm just trying to work out in my head how this comp makes any sort of sense at all. But right now, they got rid of all their penalty points. And I guess that's your armor bot coming out with the Squiffer. Oh man, I'm still processing what I'm looking at. It looks like they're going to find a way to get lead here, though. Maybe not. There's a lot of specials coming out from the side of Wisp.
Squiffer gives out so much information and just like basically says, hey, Carbon, go hit this thing for a lot of damage, right? And then the Flings and the Squiffer paint for the Carbon, and then the Carbon moves forward. And then sometimes the Nautilus comes in and sideswipes it anyways. A great shot, able to trade out with Z is nothing. Shad's going to try and make this thing happen on that end zap, not the H3 this time around. He's going to try and paint that zone, going to get the cap down. It's barely the lead for Wisp so far, but this would look like it's going slowly towards the momentum of Unlimited Woomy United. Finally, they cap the zone. They've only got a little bit of penalty to chew through before they can take that sweet bite of the lead. Finally, the armor comes online, and let's see if they can make this thing happen. Oh, great shot from nothing! How did you peek around that, knowing exactly when the sponge was going to dip down and able to get that shot off? Now it's going to be harassing Mr. Z up here. They can't do anything. They're going to be able to chew through this lead. Although the armor is coming online with the missiles and the bomb rush, they're not going to have time. They need to go now.
Oh, that Squiffer just sat on that person. Ouch, that's got to be a crime in some states. But Apple coming back out now with some armor to work with, and they're able to flip the zone back into their favor. But damage done, lead passes over to the side of Unlimited Woomy United. But all those penalty points on this map seems like an eternity. You don't have to do much to stall out the zone, and they do have the range to work with. But the Nautilus gets taken down, I believe, by Mr. Z, who's currently leading the pack with 9 KA of everybody right now. It is the age of the Charger all of a sudden.
And Chargers battles they will do. Saber gonna try and find Apple here. Unfortunately, K-Gal just kind of solos. Woomy ends up getting caught out a little bit with no paint, and that's looking like there's not enough paint on the map. They're going to be the lead for Wisp. There's only 1 minute and 30 left. They've only got a few more chances to get this thing going. Maybe even one more chance unless they can really find a quick opportunity or a quick pick. It doesn't look like they're going to find it. Finally, the special timers are coming online. We are finally seeing this auto bomb rush maybe potentially coming out from Woomy to try and make a little bit of paint for himself. Gonna try and find Apple on this left side with Saber's help, but Apple's able to find 2! How did you get that pick? And it's only Woozy and nothing trying to keep the zone painted, but they're gonna have to fight over a K-shot and a zap, and I don't know if that's enough paint, Pop Gun.
And you know, Mr. Z forcing the distance, forcing that flings the back. Yeah, you get to fire that missiles, but I'm not going to let you go into the zone. And now Mr. Z's distracted so they can come back in, and they do finally cap and keep this game going a little bit longer before Shads gets taken down. But it's the players of Uwu that are just getting picked apart now by the last players alive for the side of Wisp as they force this last player back. And that's the advantage of a Charger. Yeah, sitting there in zone, but it's forcing Uwu to be honest. and they don't really have much. Yeah, when the carbon goes in there, that's yet again Woomy being crazy with that thing, just going straight in head first, and just enough wiggle to dodge all those shots. But this is a huge mountain that they got to come back from. All these specials they have to work with, but this zone's going to be stalled out a lot, and they're going to have to basically go a minute into overtime if they want to find a way to win this one. But they're getting to Z now.
They're going to have the auto bomb rush to finally chip down those armors when they try and come in. And again, Z going down is going to be huge. They're not going to have a huge capping special. The Booyah can be painted over very easily, especially with the Blingza. Only 30 ticks left, and they're going to try and make this thing happen. They end up getting split up by the armor, but Woomy's able to come in. Apple ends up taking one down. Nothing able to find another shot on Shad. It's it. Get the pick. It's only Mr. Z. It's only Mr. Z able to, and nothing gets the shot off to clutch it. They're able to paint over this. It's only the Kgal left. It's only the Kgal, and they can't paint enough over it. This is going to be the game for Uwu, taking it out Wisp at the last second with a huge overtime play.
Well, you don't see that every day. Double roller Squiffer Nautilus wins game 1 here against Wisp.
Nine arbors from Squiffer? From a Squiffer? That's more than I see juniors get. That's more than Shad got. How do you get 9 arbors?
Out armored the Inzap. And, you know, you kind of talk about it's kind of the perfect support weapon to some extent. I don't know if it puts down as much paint as fluidly as like a Junior and Inzap, but you got that point sensor there that can locate everybody, allows to provide 9 armors. My goodness. So, yeah, Uwu able to hold on right there, and they finally, like, Mr. Z was able to get established, but they finally found a way to break through and just keep harassing. Wisp has to keep their charger safe. Their charger can solo this game, quite honestly. They don't need the charger to, but Z is that good. But when they're constantly under duress like that, there's not much that they can do other than just get smacked in the face by the roller. And here's the thing about teams like Uwu, you can't prepare for this next game because you don't know what's coming. They're going to bring some rollers, yes, but what else are they going to throw at you? You can't prepare for it, except they're going to bring the same exact thing, so never mind.
This is their comp. Like, I think that they play this on pretty much every single map mode, which is ridiculous, but they can do it. Oh, it's very, very fun to see. They're going to be able to make a little bit of a slow move in. They're going to let Wisp get the first hole, just like they did on that pit game. But they're going to be able to move in very quickly with the paint that they have and the specials that they have. And all of a sudden, Saber's able to find one corner apple in this corner, and all of a sudden the tower is moving. And although there's specials online for Wisp, this is looking like it's going to be a huge first push. At the very least, can break the checkpoint. What?
They were able to get a splat as that ink wall goes down, but no, they don't get that first checkpoint. Wisp able to hold on. Again, Mr. Z just constantly under attack, having a lot of difficulty getting established. But the rest of the players for Wisp able to stay alive here, able to get some trades to just at least slow down the tower as they're trying to find a way to get back into mid. But while they're doing it, it looks like some more players are going down without some trades this time around. I can't believe Uwu hasn't passed this checkpoint. They're winning the fight, so it at least appears. And now they're in a great
backed into a corner they are. Look at how backed into a corner Wisp is. They're all over here. The missiles are going to just shove them down into the plant area where they can be easily picked off if Wisp is, or Uwu is at the ready. Uzi just in the perfect position to keep this tower moving, at least protect it for the time being, and they're being patient here, which I think is really, really clutch for them. They're not overstepping, they're not making sure they go in too far, and they're just waiting to make sure they get a good push on this tower and can break through the checkpoint. Unfortunately, they don't get it. I love the patience, but not going to work out quite yet. They're going to be able to back up, though.
And now this is where you're going to have to see who on Wisp can start stepping up. And they got a lot of playmakers. Obviously, we've been talking about Z, but Apple's been showing more than enough capability to just kind of take over a game when they absolutely need their Kgal to do so. Leading the pack with 4KA right now. Missiles coming out from Kara as they're trying to just establish control of the enemy plat, or put some paint on the enemy plat. But that is a flanking Squiffer, and look out below! Where did that roller come from? What tree did they fall out of? Able to get a trade right there, but all the trades are going to work into the favor of the team that's got the lead. Right now it's Uwu, but Wisp is finally starting to clear up, and that is a delayed wipe. And look at Apple starting to push up. That's exactly what you need.
That's exactly what they need, and they're going to be able to capitalize off of it if Kara can find this pick onto nothing. Able to do so. Saber not going to end up finding the pick onto Kara. That K-Shot's going to sneak away with those missiles and fire them off one more time, and that's going to make sure that they get this checkpoint at the very least and shove them into this corner. Look at how much Uzi is trying to dance around. Hasn't gone down yet, even fighting back after all that. I think Kara ended up going down. Hold on. Ooh, able to stop the bleeding. Not too quickly, though. There are going to be a lot of people still up at bats. They're going to have to end up jumping out. That could have been a lot worse, though. The fact that they were shoved into that corner. I was expecting a knockout.
Still 2 checkpoints fall, and you want to control that second checkpoint. A full checkpoint lead here is pretty good because that second checkpoint's very difficult to get across, but Uwu's more than capable of getting up into that spot as we see the Squiffer, not the roller trying to challenge that upper area, but the Squiffer. So now it's a 2-2 situation. Both rollers are down, so there's not really anywhere to go at this point other than just to try to put some paint down, but instead you see Saber trying to hop onto this tower, trying to challenge the Charger. That's not a winning battle you want to take. Yeah, wisely backs off, and someone else takes care of the Charger, and now they're in a great position to clear this checkpoint.
Saber doing a perfect job of being a bait there, right? Just making sure that they are staying alive. Not really focused on getting the kill, just making sure to draw attention and make sure they stay alive. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so that time. Xeonsub does take them down. This tower is moving, but not with enough support. Woomy, ooh, blah, blah, blah. All of these names are just sound the same to me. Ooh, Woozy and Woomy get taken down, the roller duo, and this is looking like it's going to be Wisp holding on to mid for the final push of the game.
Yes, Uwu, a lovely team name going up against Wisp, and Apple doing a good job, 12 KA leading the pack for their team. Just really needs to... Now, they don't have that checkpoint lead that they had before, so there is still it's still not a comfortable situation to be in for this last 30 seconds. But you do have the specials to work with. You have Suction Bomb Rush, which is like a get off the tower special. You got Booyah Bomb, which is a you have no choice but to get off the tower special. And you can see them holding onto those specials right now. The Swiffer getting taken care of. So Wisp in a great position to close out this game. Armor just going down as they try to find a way to clean up the last few Uwu players. And I don't want to hop on this tower and deliver it to them, but you control mid, and you still, look at it, still not using that Booyah Bomb until right now. Perfectly cooking that Booyah Bomb. That's got to be game, and it looks like we're going to a game 3. Finally with something on the line. What a great set, though.
This is already an amazing set. Star plays from both sides, I have to admit. Like, and not plays that are just like, oh, I made a hero play. Like, no, like clean, good team play from both sides. This is what happens when you have a team that's practicing together, working together, and knows how to move together as a unit. And it's just so refreshing to see that it's more than just, oh, one player popped off. It's combination of using the specials, being in the right position, and making sure that you can execute on those plays to make something happen, to make a lot of chain kills happen, to get those pushes down. And that's what I love to see.
And you know, when you're trying to figure out a team like Uwu and you're trying to adjust to what they're doing, the longer the set goes on, the more opportunities you have to figure them out. And that might be what took place over the course of that second game there with Wisp, and that might give them a little bit of advantage going into this game 3. But, I mean, you say they're not going to change their comp, Squiffer and Nautilus, and I mean, I guess in my mind it doesn't work anywhere, but I can be proven wrong here. But now you got Rainmaker, and Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness. These games can go so quickly along that right side if you're not ready, but those rollers can do a lot of damage here because you do like having arcing weapons here. So those rollers are going to have to be key, but it's just a matter of can Wisp start figuring out the playstyle that they're going to see. You know that roller is going straight for you. The Carbon's going straight for you. Like there's no surprise that that's going to happen.
Hey, Popgun. It's game 3, and this is for moving on to Redemption Bracket in SuperJump, making sure they get a good seed, making sure they get a good placement, and get a ride to the Alpha Bracket potentially after going through the gauntlet that will be coming up next. But this is for the marbles. Can Unlimited Woomy United take this Rainmaker all the way to the pedestal right now? It looks like they're going to be able to take down at least Mr. Z in the meantime. Uzi going down. not gonna have that paint for the push. The missile's coming in, and nothing goes down as well on the other side. Gonna be able to get up that ramp, which is actually really important. That's one of the choke points, the benchmarks for these pushes that you need to be able to get through that are gonna be easy to hold for the side of Uwu. But that's a good first push.
Yeah, and they were able to do it with only one player getting splats, Woomy on the Carbon Roller. So again, what are they going to do on the defensive side here? 49, obviously not really a lead that they're going to be comfortable with all this time left to go here, but they're doing a good job of swarming. And again, that was the thing. That was the Flingza. Those shots came from like the snipe area. What's the distance of a Flingza? That was a lot of pressure they were applying while not even being close to mid. Now here's the question. Are they looking to go through mid there? Because if you go up that zip line, you get a ton of points. And it looks like they're at least flirting with the idea of it, now starting to rotate back right and going the only other route that you can go along the right little hill there by the lockers, but waiting for the rest of the players. It all kind of comes down to Uwu or Woomy on the Carbon Roller, who kind of initiates the pushes here, and they do have some chicken bomb rushes to work with as well. But yeah, until one of those players just kind of creates something, there's not really anywhere for them to go, and I don't know if you just want to die in mid while getting wiped like this.
Who's he going to try and dance around? I think Woomy and Saber ended up going across the Great Bridge to try and take down Mr. Z on that charger, which is going to be so impressive. And you usually need someone doing that. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do so. And now Apple's coming around trying to do the same thing. They're going to be able to get up that ramp. They're going to be able to get the lead. Ooh, Woomy's trapped behind them at the time being. Nothing able to at least land a shot and prevent them from really getting a lead that's way, way too far up forward for them to defend. Going to send the missiles out now. Going to send out the armor. And it's looking like they're going to be able to disperse Wisp for the time being.
It looked like there was an opportunity to add to the lead right there, but the missiles forced everybody back. I thought for sure somebody was going to run forward and grab it and just extend the lead a little bit, especially with that ink wall getting thrown out there. But now man advantage, but nice shot there by Z, able to kill at least one player, and that keeps everybody honest. So they can't just grab it and run, which is looked like they were trying to do. But yeah, now you're in a situation with Uwu. You got to create pushes, and it seems like they're just trying to create pushes, like you said, by taking care of Z. That's what they've been focusing on all set long, and I think Wisp is starting to realize that now, and they're finding ways to protect their charger, and they're being rewarded for it.
Yeah, Z has been a lot more careful during the later half of the set and has been able to take a lot more shots. And right there you saw Woomy try and just go across without the support of the missiles and was not able to find Z there, instead of just getting popped and taken down. The Rainmaker is in the hands of Uzi once again, as Woomy's going to try and find their way up to this ramp here. All the members of Uwu are suddenly across the bridge and trying to fight here. Nothing and Woomy end up going down though. The missiles are coming in, and though there's a minute and a half left, there's not that many more chances for them to push this Rainmaker.
Where were they going with that? Yeah, they just died going forward. That was kind of awkward right there. But again, it seems like their plan has been figured out. Oh, they're just going for our charger. And when they can't kill the charger, it's like, oh, they don't really have a plan B. So Uwu's got a minute to figure out what their offensive game plan is going to be. If they can't do that, then Wisp, even though this isn't a good lead to have, it might just be good enough, quite honestly, unless just something crazy happens on the side of Uwu, because they grab the Rainmaker yet again, but it's to get it's taken down, and it's just like, what are you going to do at this point without your carbon?
And look at how Z is positioning. Z positioned way back over on the left there, just saying super duper safe. Like, just let them come to us. We know Uwu's going to try and push the matter themselves. Instead, let's just let Z have all the time in the world to make that happen. Now sending out the bomb rush here. Gonna send up the wall. Finally, Z goes down, but is that going to be worth it? I don't think so. They're gonna try and send the Rainmaker across the ramp. They're gonna try and send it across the rail, but it's not gonna end up happening. All of a sudden, there's 20 seconds left, and Uwu is scraping for a second chance, and nothing gets found out.
Think they're not gonna get there. I don't think. I mean, it's 10 seconds. The Rainmaker might reset. But I would grab it. I would grab it right here. A nice shot, but I don't know if it's gonna. Can they pop it in time and grab it? They should be able to. Barely, yes. Can they dodge the burrito bomb? And they do, but they can't get away. Oh, those sneaky dogs. They tried to distract on the right side and sneak through the zip line. But Wisp showing a little bit more experience and speed to shut it down. And they withstand. They solved Uwu over the course of that set.
It really did look like they were solved, right? And it looked like every time Woomy tried to go across and make that play, I don't think that the map, I think this was kind of a case of like, oh, if this was a different map mode, maybe we would have seen it. Like, this is so hard for Carbon to get going on. right? And that's one of the hard things. Like, they tried to just, like, send Woomy across that grates a couple times too many, I think. And eventually they're going to just... Wisp was just like, we don't have to do anything. We can just sit here. We can snipe you as we come across. Good luck. And they couldn't do anything.
You know, I don't know how Wisp feels about that match, but me personally, that's why I said things like Cherry Limeade's the funnest team to play against, just because it's like presenting a puzzle to you that you have to solve over the course of a best of 3, and that's exactly what Wisp did. They recognized, okay, this is what they're trying to accomplish with this comp. And now we know how to, and we can't beat it in the ready up screen, but we got to beat it in the middle of the game. We got to beat it with our call outs and a strategy. And they were able to come up with something. A 41 point lead isn't really something that you feel comfortable with, but when you recognize, oh, we can just shut down this particular playstyle they're trying to push at us and keep our chargers safe, we're going to be just fine. So an impressive, a smart win there for Wisp. But man, Unlimited Woomy United, that's not the same team we saw back in October of Lowing. No. They've become something else. They are something else. And that was a fun one to watch.
Oh, yeah. And Wisp as well. Wisp is a team that is on the come up. Like, they're doing super well, like consistently winning a lot of, like, in SOS. They're doing well in these mid-level tournaments. Like, they're a team to watch. And I'm super excited to see them, especially during this tournament, to see if they can get all the way through Redemption Bracket, which will be coming up shortly, and I believe at 10 minutes past the hour. That is going to be it for Hopgun and I. Yes. I just want to say thank you to everyone who made this happen. Thank you to everyone who I've met in the past 5 years of Splatoon 2, since this is kind of, in a sense, a very big send-off for the community that has been built around this, for the game that has been built around this community.
Yes, and we got a lot more great action coming up. We're going to take a quick 10-ish minute break. Toby and... Oh, no, Dura.
Yes, Dura.
Yeah, Toby and Dura are going to be coming in. We're bringing in the EU commentators to close out the day one of the tournament late at night. So that's going to be interesting, giving you guys a pretty hype redemption match coming up. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Redemption Bracket of SuperJump 2.
Hello guys and welcome back to SuperJump 2. Right now we have Day 1 Wave B Redemption Brackets, and here I am today joined by Dragonuto, also known as Toby. Say hi, Toby.
Hi Matt, how are you doing?
Well, you just botched it because I was about to say my name. I'm here, Matt Ninja from you know me. And here we are. And I've got a little bit of a surprise for you guys. I'm not actually Matt, it's Dura. Whoa!
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize. To be honest, you did sound way more handsome than Matt, so I was kind of confused there when you're coming in. You sounded way better. Either way, we're coming in. We've got the redemption bracket to play right now, so I'm sure you've all been enjoying SuperJump streams so far. You've had a bunch of great matches, a bunch of great commentators on, and me and Dora are going to take you through the rest of the day. Redemption bracket B-side. We're starting out with a pretty good match, pretty solid match to watch. We've got Dark Rain versus Sonaria, both South American teams, so a bit of a battle of the same continent. What are you thinking about this one, Dora? What are you thinking going in?
I'm still thinking about how much fun I had with that intro. But,
Okay.
but no, I really want to see. I've never really delved that much into
The
South
British
American.
accent?
No,
Oh,
South
South
American.
American.
No, I'm very well versed in the British accent. But yeah, I
Right.
really want to see how this goes. I'm not sure I know all these players, and what a good way to know them as Splatzone's Inkling, such a classic.
Yeah, classic map. All I can think of when I'm hearing South American is that massive controversy with the Chilean players in the North American League. But that being said, we're going into a start our match on Inkblock. We got some pretty standard comps, except for maybe a normal mini splatling, which is a bit of an interesting choice. But missile spam is forever popular on splat zones. A bit of a neutral start, but we'll see how this one plays out. Both teams looking pretty standard, though.
Seems like a bit of a delayed armor from the side of Sonaria, which does end up leaving them to be two people down here, and it seems like it's early control for, not Sonaria, my bad, for Dark Rain. Quick lead for Dark Rain.
Yeah, looking pretty good. They're trying to get their specials up. Ink armor again on the board. Missiles are up as well. Popped a little bit early on the armor, I'd say, but it doesn't really matter too much. They managed to get the one pick. Missiles come out, get a bit of space. So that advantages in. Armor again a bit late there, coming out for Dark Rain, but that's fine as control has been wrestled back.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a late armor. As you can see, there are only two people up from the side of Dark Rain, so not sure how they would have managed to defend that. This armor from the side of Sonaria didn't get to save that Kid Pro, and the Zap does go down too, as well as the Bomb Rush user going down to the Inkjet. This seems like a quick flip of mid and the entire map control for the side of Dark Rain. And as we see one of the opponent's players jump out, we were... Oh
Back
no,
to a reset.
actually, yeah, back to reset. I was about to say.
Yeah? Alright, well, going in, we've got another team fight. Booyah Bomb comes out just to make some space for the drop in. They drop in, managed to get two picks here. That's another quick flip for the side of the team. They did lose the lead, but so far they've kept it kind of close. 59-53. Obviously got that penalty ticking down. They do lose their splash in the fight, but it's looking like the enemy team are retreating for a clean re-engagement.
I will say both these teams have been using the jump out feature, and quite well. You see, we just saw two of these players jump out to go back in as a team as they pop the missiles and the bubbles. They get control of the zone. Two people down on the opposing team. They push up into the enemy plat, and we saw another person jump out. This is full control for the side of Dark Rain here.
I believe it's Sonaria, but yes, they have got full
Sonaria.
control. They have got full control. They've managed to break through all of their bank as well, and they are going to quickly wrestle back the lead. Two Bomb Rush and Booyah Bomb both coming out, but the Bomb Rush are being kind of pushed back, and the missiles kind of come to nothing as the rest of his team gets wiped, and that's Sonaria now getting a bit of a lead. Now it's looking towards final fight territory for Sonaria. If they manage to hold on to this, they have got armor on board and Inkjet, so it could have an armor Inkjet here just to secure this round, or they do lose one of their members early on, but they get it with a trade, and the second member comes out in armor, and that's looking like that's going to be the first match, concluding there.
Clean.
Yeah, well,
Very
I would
clean
say
conclusion there.
Yeah, I was going to say, clean conclusion, because right at the start it was a bit back and forth. Both teams couldn't quite find their footing. Specials were coming out, and they were getting a lot of recontests, and you rightly pointed out that they were jumping out a lot. So, obviously taking this it's a very Japanese way of playing, isn't it? If you don't mind me saying, like, we always used to look back and say, oh, the Japanese they won't re-engage in a fight unless they know they're going to win it. So they'll jump out if they lose a member, just to reduce that respawn time. And well, for Sonaria, that seemed to work out as they managed to take this one home. Dark Rain now looking to maybe equalize this. Is counter picks, so they do get a choice of the map that they're going to run this to next.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say it was so back and forth that I even lost track of which team was which. And I'm definitely blaming the game and the circumstance and not myself for that.
Duracell will never lose track, you know. It's just one of those games, I think, and you can't really do much about that. Well, no, who wouldn't have? Matt wouldn't have lost track of those. So
no.
Look, I mourn his loss. Maybe you could bring his essence back, Dora. What's going on? Come on, where's the accent?
I'll channel my inner Matt for the next
inner Matt. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I was going to pick up on something you said though about the jumping out and the you said Japanese way of playing that we've seen the West adopt in the past couple of years, and it's not only just the respawn time that they are saving for themselves; it's also the special points. And we saw that this one time, I believe the members of Dark Rain jumped out, and instantly, as they landed, their teammate popped missiles and they were ready to go once again. And that is the magic of staying alive and repositioning with the use of super jumping, which coincidentally is the name of the tournament.
Wow, look at you! Branding! Well, I mean, you should be making a video about that, 'cause you seem quite knowledgeable, huh, Dora? Got to put some more content out for the Splatoon community coming up to Splatoon 3.
Well,
no?
You said it, not me. You called me a genius, I didn't say anything.
Okay, well, look. You could be smart sometimes, Dora. You might lose track of teams, and you might say some. You might be a silver Lucio player and a bit.
Hey, I'm platinum.
Platinum, are you? Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, according to Matt, you play like a silver Lucio. So. No. Well, nonetheless. All right, we're talking a bunch of crap. The Dark Rain have picked. They've made their choice. We're going on to Tower Control. We're playing Starfish Main Stage. Another classic map. Classic map pick. Honestly, one of my favorite Tower Control maps, just because of how snaky the path is, and it tends to allow for some interesting engagements. What are you expecting out of both sides here? We saw a Splashmatic. We saw a Forge Splash Shot Pro, I believe, which is an interesting pick. Do you think we're going to see something more along the lines of something traditional, like a C-Jet, or are they going to stay with this sort of close range engagement type of comp?
Well, not to be that guy, but I do believe it was a K-Pro.
Okay, well, there was a K-Pro, there was a Forge. There was two.
Right. No. But I'm not saying this with an ill intent. I just want to say that I probably would expect the K-Pro to come out on this mode, because Booyah Bomb is really, really strong in tower control, as we know. And yeah, I'm really curious to see if Steam brings out the Mini once again. It's a really interesting pick, and definitely a very valid missile weapon. And I'd love to see have more play.
Well, yeah, I always think that myself. I was like, people tend to pick V-Jet over Mini, I guess, as their backline missile spammer. But Mini produces missiles like anything. Like you can get like 14, 16 missiles out in a game if you're painting and spamming. That's an interesting choice. We see the Hydra and the Vanilla Doolies and a Naught come out. Interesting comps, interesting choices of comp. The Hydra are most likely to substitute for the armor, but they are playing double armor as well. Is that the Inkjet Naught? Am I going?
That is the Inkjet Naught, yes.
Okay, the Inkjet Naught. Yeah, well, I mean, interesting choice, I guess. Probably looking for those armor jets. It doesn't really matter when half your team gets wiped out almost immediately.
Yeah, I was about to say, as we were going on that tangent, the Hydra player just flanked and got a triple. And now he has armor, and they're ready to ride the tower, and I expect him to clear this checkpoint, hopefully. Maybe not with these missiles. But definitely a strong start for Sonaria.
Yeah, pretty strong start, but obviously getting reset quite quickly. Obviously, missiles showing themselves again how strong they can be, even just to disengage the enemy from the objective. Doesn't really matter again because just getting picked off over and over are Dark Rain and Sonaria kind of finding their feet. They might be on the tower, but oh, actually, you know what? I take it all back. Dark Rain making some progress now. They do have specials on board. Booyah Bomb comes out to clear the top left. Doesn't quite find anybody. Doesn't quite find the Hydra who's hiding there, but it does make a little bit of space.
Yeah, here the duelie's diving onto tower, ending up getting 3 as his teammate wipes out the last remaining opponent there. And I think Sonaria here is in a really good spot to start pushing back in. They aggress onto this Not player. He does go down, and as the missiles and the armor comes out, I think they can clear this checkpoint and pave the way for a great push.
Yeah, well, they can clear the checkpoint if the Hydra doesn't keep coming off tower, because every time they've had this opportunity, whilst I fully agree that they should be aggressing, nobody wants to seem to ride that tower. They finally do get through that checkpoint after a little bit of tower jockey, but it's given enough time for Dark Rain to respawn and potentially earn some specials that could stop this push.
As the Booyah goes down on the top left here of the enemy team, the Junior does go down right before he can pop the armor. Bowen here flanking, poking through the flank, sending some bombs over and charging up that special meter. It's a 3v3 situation right now, and as Bowen gets a pick assisted by his teammate, he charges the armor, and this looks like full control for the start of Dark Rain. As Bowen Shark Super gets spotted, I was gonna say pop the armor, he does, but it's only one remaining alive on his side. And Sonaria here just keeps their presence in the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, Dark Rain really struggling right now to get back that mid control, and losing on a flank as well. That's tough, getting caught out almost immediately. Good communication being shown there for Sonaria. And Dark Rain, again, they're on the back foot. The checkpoint getting pushed through for Sonaria is going to be really strong for them. And that's looking like a really good lead. They've already lost 2 members, but that checkpoint, hugely important there to maintain, specifically if Dark Rain want to make an overtime push. They do manage to get back on tower and take out the Junior, but there's a little bit of a sharper going on, kind of slowing them down.
Did end up jumping out, and the fact that Sonaria there managed to get that checkpoint out of the way means that it's any push that they start becomes so much more intimidating, as 3 of the players from the side of Dark Rain go down. Everybody is down, and Sonaria just keeps on pushing. They keep on pushing, keep on aggressing, and they have, look at that, half of their specials online and ready to go. And as I say that, the Junior goes down. This is a prime opportunity for Dark Rain to take back the tower, but it's trade after trade after trade. If they keep up with the trades, they won't be able to take back control of the map.
Yeah, not really looking too good for Dark Rain. Every time they get those picks, they just can't quite get their foot back. They're just struggling to get that foothold. And Sonaria keeping up some incredible pressure here. That's just it's just making it really hard for them. They have to burn all their specials just to get them off the tower, and even then, it's only 1 pick. And then another member of Sonaria just takes out 2, and well, we just seen it happen right there. Another 2 just go down immediately, and Sonaria back again on the push. And they've got the call it. They know exactly where the other 2 members are, and they're not in a good position to stop this tower getting pushed forward. Specials are online, but it's only a missile, and it's only a Booyah, and the Booyah gets nothing, and the missiles look like they've been used defensively. It's just not looking too good for Dark Rain.
It really isn't. And look at the, no pun intended, the tower control from the side of Sonaria. They just keep poking in and out of the tower, just letting it stay at least in the same place, but on the enemy side of the map. It applies so much pressure, and it's so hard for Dark Rain to get out of this position unless they get 2, maybe 3, okay, just 2 of the enemies out of mid. Now they have mid. This is their last and only chance as they pop the armor. They have an inkjet ready, they pop the missiles, and they are ready to aggress. They do have 2 checkpoints to burn still, and they have this Not player eager to pop the inkjet on tower. He does trade, no one on tower, and Sonaria does get on tower. That is the end of this game. Going to Sonaria.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one there for Dark Rain. They were struggling a lot with taking that mid back, but even then, every fight that they won, in quotation marks, like barely won, on their side of the map, it just wasn't. Nothing was happening, right? They took a little bit of presence and immediately got dived on basically and destroyed. So nothing really coming out of that for them. Definitely an unfortunate situation to be in, an unfortunate game for them. Just couldn't find their foothold. That being said, Sonaria playing incredibly well, making good use of that of that custom Hydra to put the presence on and push back Dark Rain and well, just a clean game, I guess, from them.
Yeah, it really was, and I really meant it when I said what I said about them going in and out of tower, or on and off of tower rather. That is such a valid strategy to just keep the tower on the same place. If you realize that the enemy team can't make it past line A or line B in the map.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, like just keep that control, keep the tower on your side of the map, the side of the map you wanna push, and capitalize on the height advantage that you have, especially on a map like Starfish, where it all kind of goes up towards that middle section. Definitely a clean game coming out from Sonaria. That being said, I believe this was a best of 3, so that is it for Dark Rain.
It's a best of 5.
It's a best of 5. Oh, I'm wrong. You know. It's been a long day, Dora. I thought I was gonna have Matt with me for support,
I'm your
but
guardian angel.
You're my guardian angel.
I got you, man.
Wow, my Portuguese angel. I love it. well, my Portuguese angel who can speak exactly like a British person. That's what I'm here for. Go on, where's come on, bring it out just a little bit of the accent, please. Condora.
I hate doing this under pressure.
What is good? It's not bad. He just sound a bit like Gordon Ramsay. Just
it's better when I try to sound like Matt. You know.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Because
well, if you...
Matt. Okay. This chat, everybody watching. This is how you impersonate Matt. You need to find something that deeply angers you. For Matt, it's playing Overwatch with myself, and I'm a healer, but I'm way out of position. And he says, "Dora, what are you doing? You're supposed to be healing me." And that's how you do it.
It's always perfect. That's the thing. That's the thing that gets me. I've been on the other end of that so many times. Matt shouting at me for not healing him properly in Overwatch, or not playing with him, and getting in so much trouble. And he sounds exactly like that. It's on point. It's like, Dora or Toby, what are you doing? You don't know how to play the game. Just get on the tower. Well,
yeah, in Splatoon terms, I was about to say maybe we should turn this into Splatoon terms, and it would go something like, Dora, paint the zone. What are you doing? What are you doing? You need to paint the zone.
Get on Junior, Dora. What are you doing? You threw that game. Why are you playing Splash-O-Matic?
Mm-hmm. And then you press X, open the map, and you notice that Matt is on a Narnia flank, way away from zone.
Yeah, and it's your fault. It's your fault he's on the flank.
Enough about Matt. Enough about Matt. This could possibly be the last game in this set. And Dark Rain has kind of picked Splat Zone Skipper, going back into zones, and going to, might I say, a very different map from the others.
Yeah, no, Skipper completely different. Like Starfish and Inkbot are quite typical. I like how we just like gone completely almost immediately just straight back into normal commentary. Like this didn't even happen. But
No.
Skipper a completely different style of map, right? It's like a giant V. It's all uphill towards the spot, and that spot zone is quite large. Two main direct avenues of attack. You either go to the bottom or you go from the top, and that top area can be an absolute bloodbath for the long range weapon.
Yeah.
So yeah, different. Not as traditional as Inkblot. We'll see what they. It's an interesting pick, honestly, especially after seeing the custom Hydra coming out from Sonaria. I'm not quite sure why they would go here if they're thinking maybe they can trump him or trump them on the on the charger. Not sure, or they just decide that they're gonna play around it with some of their 4 short range shooter weapon. We'll see.
Let's see. Yeah.
I think they think they can trump them on the short range. Well, we'll see how that one plays out for them as the Hydra is coming out again, and Dark Rain. Well, we can see from the map they're taking kind of a split here. The Capo immediately getting singled out. 3 members down the bottom. They get the early control, but they haven't really taken the initiative here. You would have thought they bring 3 members down. They win the fight. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But they you would have thought with the 3 members, you'd go down and you try and fight the 2. You have the call out from the Cabra that was still up top. But not quite working out for them. A bit of a flip going back and forward here. You can see the paint power coming out from Dark Rain here to keep that zone towards them. Not quite working out when they're getting picked off like anything. So a control for Sonaria coming straight back, and also, well, they got to break in now. They got to break in. Skipper's walls.
Yeah, Sonaria just kept swatting them like flies, and now with the armor going out, it seems like they really want to deny access to zone, and 2 people go down. I don't even know how that happened. One of them died to a bomb, and the K-Shot must have died on the top side. Not the K-Shot, the Splash must have died on the top side of the map. This Booyah going down from the lonesome K-Pro down at the bottom of the map. Doesn't really put in that much work, I will say. Clem here on the top, ready to pop the missiles, waiting for his team as they have close to 20 seconds to finishing this game, but it's looking grim. It's looking really grim for them. They really got to move. There's only 2 people left alive on the side of Dark Rain. Clem gets a couple huge picks, but doesn't manage to flip the zone. That is so disheartening.
That's really unfortunate. Well, it looked like a great turnaround, managed to get those picks, but not the team presence wasn't there, and unfortunately the zone presence wasn't there. And Dora, you've got to paint the zone. Just coming to life right in the game, and an unfortunate one there for Dark Rain, as they were looking like they were going to make a bit of a comeback. Sonaria though with a swift 3-0, I believe that is. So well played from them.
Yeah, very well played. It's really disheartening how that turned out at the end, because they had a really good opportunity, but unfortunately for them, most of the team was down and couldn't help with painting the zone.
Yeah, you know,
that's
honestly,
Splatoon, baby.
that is Splatoon. Honestly, I think the long range could have come out. I mean, they did play the mini, I believe. Yeah, surely they could have switched on to something like a heavy splatling to try and counter it. Although the heavy splatling is probably one of the worst backline weapons in the game at the moment. I'm getting funny looks, but I'm getting funny looks. Yeah, I've got a special guest. Maybe I can bring a special. What do you think about Splatlings? Come on. All right. Okay, so I've got a special guest around my house at the moment. They are a traditional Splatling player. What do you think about heavy Splatling on Skipper Pavilion, Kaji?
Heavy Splatling is the best backline.
Okay, that's enough. We've heard enough from our special guest. That's great. Dora, what do you think is the best backline on Skipper Pavilion?
Whoa. We're not gonna gloss over the fact that we casually had Kaji from Kraken Paradise just feature on the stream like that.
Yeah, what? What do you want me to just say, like, she's just here?
Man,
it was a voice clip. I had a button that I could.
Guys, the UK scene is crazy.
Yeah? No.
The UK scene is crazy. They all know each other.
That was actually my accent. You know, I spoke. That was me speaking then.
That was crazy.
Well,
anyways,
I just, you know, I had to take the opportunity because I had like a legendary Splatling player to come on to give their opinion. Obviously, Splatling, according to her, best on Skipper Pavilion. So maybe that would have been a good pick for Dark Rain to bring that one home. But unfortunately, not quite working out for them in this case.
Yeah, I'm not quite working out, and like not many things working out. It's not gonna work out. Us, you know what I mean, Toby?
Yeah.
We gotta shut up. We gotta shut up because I'll tell you why. Because grander things are coming.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think.
Really?
Yeah. Is it? Oh, go on. What are you talking about, Dora? I'll feed it. What are you talking about?
All right. Okay. If you're ready, I'm talking about Riptide 2022.
Riptide 2022? When's that happening?
Well, Riptide will be a Splatoon 3 event. It will be the first Splatoon 3 LAN, and I'm really excited. I'm not even going. Just thinking about it.
Wait, can you perhaps use a command in chat to access some information about Riptide?
I believe !Riptide will take you to a place where you can learn anything, but the basics are that September 9th through September 11th at the Kalahari in Sandusky, Ohio, the Cornland. You can play Splatoon, hang out with friends, watch Smash Brothers, play Rivals of Aether, and there's so much things. There's water slides.
Water slides? Water slides. Wait. Should maybe I'll try it in an American accent. Wait. Play Splatoon, watch Smash, Rivals, and others, and then go down the water slides to the arcade with your friends.
This will be perfect.
This will be the first land to host the Splatoon 3 event, which will be on the day of release. Well, that's impressive. That's cool.
That is very cool. You know what else is cool?
What's cool?
Big House 10.
Big House 10.
Tell me about Big House 10, Toby.
Oh, Big House 10. I think I heard about Big House 10. I think it'll be the first. Well, they also think they're the first land to crown a Splatoon 3 champion. On October 7th through October 9th in Detroit, Michigan. We're gonna have Big House 10 with a Splatoon event. There's other events going on there too, which you can check out if you look up Big House 10. I believe on Google you should be able to find it. It's in Detroit, Michigan, and it's got glowed supplies. You just can go there with your friends. Are you gonna go to Big House 10, Dora?
Well, no. But
Nope.
I know some people that will, and they're pretty cool. Don't ask me who. They're just cool. They're cool.
I think we're nailing this. We're nailing this ad segment. We're great at this. Okay. Have we got any more to go through? We got more things to talk about? I think we do.
Of course. Okay. All right. Lightning round. Shine 2022. We're shining.
Shining. We're glowing.
We're glowing. You know why we're glowing?
Why are we glowing?
We're glowing because in Shine of this year, that is 2022, Splatoon will return to the East Coast of the US, of course, with its debut at Shine in Worcester, in Massachusetts.
What the? Wait.
Worcester. Can you say that word, please?
Worcestershire. Well, it's Worcester.
In Massachusetts.
That's Worcester, Massachusetts.
Anyways,
American sounding. It's
okay.
Worcester.
Well,
I'll talk about this one. No, I'll talk about this one. So I'm actually going to this one. I'm going to this one. Shine 2022, August 26th and 28th. I'm gonna be there, so you'll get to see me, and you get to see Rissa. There'll be Matt will be there, even though he's not on this stream. He'll also be there. Dora won't. That's good. That's fine. We don't know Dora, because he obviously can't pronounce the location. It's Worcester, and if you don't understand, like for all the Americans out there, it's Worcestershire sauce, not Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Okay. But yeah, Shine 2022 coming next month. It's gonna be great.
well,
Are you back, Dora? Do I have to apologize?
I'm back. I'm not gonna try to say it again. What I will try to say is Launch Point Draft Cup, which is, as you can probably tell, a draft cup that will happen on the 7th of August at 5 p.m. TC, and it will celebrate the Launch Point Draft Cup 10, so the 10th edition, right? It'll have a first place prize, and the first place prize, that's a mouthful, is a full set of Libra stickers.
Libra
stickers. English isn't my first language, guys. Fair.
You're obviously not.
That's not all. But that's not all, Toby.
Right.
There will also be a raffle for 3 players that can win a set of Libra stickers as well.
That's pretty good. Well, I like to hear that. That's great.
Right.
Alright, and you can sign up over at discord.io/MalawiIT exclamation mark. Malawi, MULLOWYIT exclamation mark. We got one last thing to say, before we actually get into the game. But Minnow Cup. I'm sure you've heard about Minnow Cup. It's an old tournament, but it's back. It's back with a more single mode fun. What better way to say goodbye to Splatoon 2 than with Splat Zones? Oh, it's a Splat Zones only tournament, isn't it? Okay, well no, that's a good thing. Oh, what am I doing? Why am I sighing? It's a great thing. Everybody loves Splat Zones only. Woo! Make a splash in Minnow Cup Splat Zones edition on Saturday, August 6th at 5 p.m. UTC or 1 p.m. EDT. Also follow exact same name, Mulloway IT on Twitter, and then join the Discord server and grab the Minnow Cup roll for more information. All right. Okay, we've done our ads.
No, we haven't.
Is there more?
Because we also need to introduce Freshwater Schultz.
Okay. We can go back to Freshwater Shoals.
And guess what? Freshwater Shoals is a new Mulloway IT draft section for casual players, which is awesome because there's so many casual players that need to learn about the wonders of competitive play. Well, just like Launch Point, Freshwater will run drafts for the usual ranked modes, but with a bit of a twist. Players will also be able to queue for Turf War and minigame drafts, so it's fun for everyone. You can sign up in the exact same Discord server, discord.io/MullowayIT, and you can sign up anytime. Freshwater will open tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC, and that's 10 a.m. EDT. And so yeah, you don't want to miss this. Call your casual friends, call everybody that you know likes Splatoon, but maybe isn't as well versed in the competitive scene. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Wow. Thanks, Dora. Thank you for reading out those ads. Those great adverts for us. And I hope that all our viewers can get some interesting content, or even if they want to play a tournament, go towards those. Or even they'll have stuff to watch, some LAN events to watch coming up in the next few months. Either way, we have a match to get to. We have a match to progress onto, which is great. I believe it's going to be Farto versus Metawave. Great name.
Who they are. Yeah, I'm
Great name.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy, as you can tell.
I'm gonna cheer on Farto, who I fully know who every single member is. I say while I currently try and find the rosters for myself to look at.
Well, if you need some help, it's BR5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks, Dora.
Well, I will say that Farto does have some familiar names, as does Metawave. And Farto is a team that came from the semifinals, so they were lower down on their initial group. So yeah, Metawave, in theory, should have the upper hand. But let's see. You never know.
Wait, look, you're saying that, but like I'm looking and I'm seeing Q, Havoc Taylor, like a bunch of noticeable names on the roster of Farto. Honestly, that name is actually just getting me, but on the name of Farto. So there's some good players on both sides here. Seeing the Vanilla Jet, let's go Vanilla Jet, woo! Alright, that's perfect. I love seeing a bit of Vanilla Jet, bit of Object Shredder Vanilla Jet. We're gonna see some missile spam from Metawave. That's gonna be great. And we'll also, like, I'm too hype about that, but we also have an E-liter, scoped E-liter on the side of Farto. So, interesting choice.
Yeah, I will expect this E-liter to hit some nasty shots. And as I say that, no time to focus on the E-liter because Taylor opens up the game with a pick in the first 30 seconds, charges up the missiles, pops them onto two of the enemy players as the last one does go down. This is full control for Farto, which will never sound natural for me to say. Taylor does go down on the enemy street, as does his Splashomatic teammate Lewis. Drops onto zone, kills April, gets that pick, and as the last player of Farto jumps out, this is control entirely flipped, but Farto already pushed to 47 points on the zone. That's 53 points rather, and this other team, Metawave, needs to hold this as the junior tries to get this armor.
Yeah, really struggling to find somewhere to paint. They did a pretty good job painting it all when they came in, and that makes getting that armor a bit harder. They do manage to get it and pop that one just in time to save their VJet, I believe. Very aggressive positioning from the VJet. Does manage to get a pick onto the Tensatech, I believe, and the lead has been taken by Metawave. Now, Farto looking to get a way back in. I don't even know what the special is, or maybe, to be honest with you. Ink Storm? Yeah, Ink Storm. Alright, perfect. Just say it so little. 23 now on the clock for Metawave. They're making great progress towards finishing that one off. Has been stalled for just a little bit. That Elita gets dived on, and a bit of an unfortunate one there. The rest, as the rest of Farto all go down, Metawave now charging ever closer to just taking that zone and knocking it out.
Yeah, Q in a last-ditch effort to capture the zone there with the lonely suction bomb rush, but to no avail. Does go down to the rest of the team, and that's a very quick KO for Metawave.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one too. I mean, they had a bit of a tough time coming in right at the start, but they kind of just cleaned up after that. They lost one fight and then they didn't lose again. Plenty of missiles, spam 7 missiles out in that 2-minute game, I believe it was. So pretty strong showing in that first map of the day for these guys. But honestly, Farto had some Oh, dude, I can't. A farto? Really? Is there a reason why they called it that?
I don't know, but I do believe the reason that they just lost this game that hard is because of the name. I will say that. I don't think anyone called Farto should be winning games convincingly. No hates to any of these players. They're all talented players. But come on, guys. I could make a better name right now. Just looking at my desk. Watch this. Magnet Glue. That's a better game. That's a better name than Farto.
You're making me think of Cooper Clan, because there was a player on Cooper Clan called so
Really?
I don't know why I drew that comparison, but that's an old school player. Magnet Glue is a better name than Farto. You know what else would be a better name than Farto? Just
What?
anything. Just call your team Spoon, for Christ's sake. That would work. You know, call your team Spoon. You can have a team named Spoon. You can have a team named Bluetooth Receiver.
Oh, the things we talk about while we wait for counter picks to be picked.
What else are we going to talk about? The map?
Oh, but now we can talk about Splatoon.
Is playing? No, that's right. We can move on. Splatoon Reef now. You're right. We actually have a map to talk about in Splatoon Reef, and every time I see Splatoon Reef, I always say the same damn line. It's all about the bridge control. You gotta get that bridge control first thing, straight off the bat. And I'm not sure. I mean, it's a better map for an elite to be playing on, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be the right pick for them here, especially with how Metawave played the rest of that round.
Yeah, well, Toby, I usually don't say this, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Really?
I think bridge control is top 1 priority in this map. Top 1. And I really want to see what Farto does to adapt, because obviously the A-Leader, as slow as a weapon as it is, could not keep up with the pace of a last game, especially with the last team having the V-Jet as their anchor, which, let's face it, just runs around, paints a bit, pops armor, not armor, pops missiles, and then goes around and does the exact same. And it can help with suppressive fire from a safe distance and in a pretty quick manner.
You know, you could just say it. You can just say it. You know, you can just say it. You can just say that V-Jet is the best backline weapon in the current meta. Go on, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
We can't have biased casters.
Look, I'm right. Oh, I mean, I'm right, I say that, but they're not even playing the bloody V-Jet. Bandit switching over to the Fire Fin, and the V-Jet just disappearing from the other side. Morsa's gone on, staying on that 52. We're seeing a Flings of Foil picking up that place instead, which is another missile weapon, but a good choice nonetheless. Great for picking up on those ledges and picking up those cheeky kills. Bridge control falls quickly into the favor of Farto, and would you look at that? They got the zones. Shocking. Crazy that the bridge control is that important. It looks like casters are right about something. That's rare. Nonetheless, Metawave getting in karma and ready to push back in.
Yeah, we might have been right about the bridge control, but as the armor and the missiles get popped from the side of Metawave, it might become a little bit harder for Farto to keep their appearances. As I say that, the Morse, I believe, does go down on the side of Metawave, and Q rushes to the top part of the map, pops the bomb rush onto the enemy plat or street, and makes quick work of it, turning it blue, fully blue, and this control going back to Farto. And I will say, Farto is looking much, much better this game than last map.
Yeah, I think this suits their comp a little bit better. It's a lot better for them on the splasho and being able to hold. And I think maybe using this shorter range charger is going to benefit them quite a lot. As I say, that Bandit just is absolutely wiped out, and the rest of Farto get destroyed as well. They did get a little bit of a push in, down to 57, but it's not enough to say that they're safe. The lead's probably going to get taken before they get a chance to recontest. And as the rest of Metawave pick up these specials and start using them to keep them from coming back in, this lead, or this lack of lead, but it could turn into a lead, could be extended a lot further. The armor does get popped for the side of Farto, though, as they look to recontest.
Very, very passive special usage right now. As I said, that Q does go down, gets the trade with the foil, Flingza, and the Junior. It's a 2v3 in mid for the side of Farto here. I fully expect them to flip the entire control of the map here if they're quick enough. Yeah, Sambugi here manages to jump out, keeps the missiles, and now Metawave is pretty much ready for a counter push. But the charger on Farto does pop the bomb rush. They pop the missiles, they pop the armor. They're ready to defend their ground here as Farto Taylor here gets the pick with Q. Very, very good double teaming there. Getting 2 picks. Flingza backing out there. Not the Flingza, actually. The junior Flingza already backed out. And that was a pretty good hold from the side of Farto.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll ever get used to that, because if you just turned around and told me that Farto double-teamed Metaverse, that's Metawave, that's an interesting an interesting sentence to put together. That being said, Morsa popping the Booyah to stay alive, does manage to clear out the bombs, looking for an early pick. The armor comes in clutch just to keep them alive for a little bit longer, but still going down as the rest of Metawave do find control. If not, they don't get many kills off of it though. It's 1 kill and Farto kind of disengage, and Metaverse now... I keep saying Metaverse, they're not NFTs, bro. But Farto now with an opportunity to recontest onto the point.
Yeah, Bandit there with a timely pick onto Morsa there as his teammate came back from spawn after jumping out. Morsa does go down again, kind of a rough game for him right now. They are dropping onto the Charger sidelines. That is terrible. You never want to do that, especially with 1 minute left and roughly 30 seconds left on the enemy counter. Bandit here holding the top as Cam tries to farm another set of missiles. This Metaverse, not Metaverse.
Sorry, I messed this up.
Metawave is struggling. They pop the missiles, and this is their last chance. They have 5 seconds to do this, and it looks like they're doing it. It really does, but Farto is not going down without a fight. 2 people go down. That's the flip, and this is possibly Metawave's last chance to get this lead and get this game.
They see them going down without a fight, and then they immediately lose the fight. Sad, unfortunate L. I think I'm just gonna call them Rising Wave from now on, because that's gonna be a bit easier. So Rising Wave have got the control at the moment. They have the Booyah Bomb on deck. They have a couple other specials, armor included, to recontest. I'm not gonna pop the armor yet. I don't think that way they would. Oh no, a bit of an early pop of the armor. They already take down the ends up though, and. Honestly, if Farto coming in at this already at a disadvantage, they probably just need to recontest and kind of hedge their bets on a last fight here. Understanding though that specials-wise they aren't anywhere close, so this fight they're going to be coming in raw.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of Cam's missiles there. Maybe a bit of a poor target choice, but it looks like it doesn't matter. 3 people down, yeah, that's lead. Oh! Okay, that's lead. Okay. Maybe a little bit of a clutch play, but yeah, maybe in a different circumstance, that solo missile onto Q that was on the far top left side of the map maybe could have been better. But it doesn't matter. Why am I spewing all this nonsense when, well, Metawave just took the game, their second game.
It was a good comeback, to be fair, from Metawave, Rising Wave plus 2 subs, Meta Noya's team. I don't know, dude. One or the other. They did make a good comeback. They were kind of down, especially coming towards that second side of the match. At the start, they were putting up a great fight, 1-to-1 with Farto, but Farto kind of were running away with it. And then Metawave just said no. Stopped them from doing that. Managed to take back control and kind of did a really good job of spacing out their specials to stop Metawave / Rising Wave. Look, man, I don't know, from recontesting and bringing that into their favor, just in the overtime. So well played there from them, and we'll be going into game point. I believe that is for Metawave now, who've just picked up 2.
Farto's kind of big right now.
And they're gonna pick Farto. They're gonna pick like a fart map, like a stinky map.
Well, I hate you. First off.
I think they'll pick a stinky map. I think they'll pick Piranha Pit. That's a stinky map.
I really hope they don't pick Splat Zones again, because it seems like they're getting kind of outpaced, even if this last game on Reef looked way better for them. But I just cannot get that first game out of my mind, where they just got outpaced so hard. It seemed like Metawave controlled the game and how they wanted the game to go so well. And I don't know, I feel like Splat Zones might be the easiest game mode to do that in.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing now that they've managed to, they've heard your words, Dora. They've heard you over the airwaves and they've said, no, he's right. We're not going to play Splat Zones because they picked Tower Control Inkblot as their counter pick going into this map, which I think would be a lot better for them with the brawly comp that they're running. I think that's a lot better. They're going to have a lot better fight around mid. Yeah, I like to see it.
Yeah, my only worry right now is how their Charger Bandit will do in this map, because Charger, I would argue Charger's best mode is flat zones, because you don't have to move that much, you know? But in tower control, you're constantly getting pressured if you're defending, and when you're attacking, you need to follow the tower, and sometimes, especially in this map, there are some hard angles to take. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what each team does here. And yeah, of course I got the Charger bias, so I kind of want to see what Bandit does.
Hey, look, I'll take your opinion on that one, considering you're a previous Charger main. Well, you know what? Never mind, it's my opinion. Bandit switched over to VJet. We'd love to see that. VJet coming out yet again. He's got a special charge up. He's just going to be spamming missiles this whole game. I like that a lot on tower control. I mean, I'm always going to like it on any mode of map, but on tower control, VJet does tend to have an overwhelming presence of just spamming missiles and just being an annoying bugger on every choke that you come to. So we'll be seeing how that one plays out for them. It's a bit of a neutral game right now. Booyah Bomb's coming out and just not quite getting anything, but it's anybody's game currently.
I will say, while we have some downtime, we do see the Kenta machine, which we don't see that often. And my main worry with Metawave's calm position is that they might be lacking a bit on the paint, on the turfing sector. We do see two of them going down, and Bandit takes the opportunity to start riding the tower. His team starts taking control of the enemy plat. Bandit does pop the missiles, just scouting out the enemy positions. Looks like he will send those missiles to the opposing player on bats, paired with that inkjet from Q and Taylor going in. That is really, really good pressure and really good team play from the side of farto.
Well, you see, I love that from farto. I love the VJ. On that part of the choke, when you're coming up, you don't want to be on bats at all fighting a VJ there, because you're just going to get, like, annoyed. Disruptors are going to get thrown at you, you're going to get missiles, you're going to get spammed at. It's just boring. And it just makes space for your dueling player to go up there and take bats. And that's exactly what they did. Taylor took a lot of space. Now Q, who's putting a lot more pressure on with the inkjet, is stalling. The tower push is still going, even though they really have only 2 members pushed up right now. Q does get taken out, but a push to 23 for the first push, that's pretty impressive. That's a pretty strong starting push. And now Rising Wave, or Metawave, have to make a comeback here.
That was really, really impressive. And I will say, some statistics, Q pops 2 inkjets in that push, which you don't see that often. But moving on to Metawave's push, Morsa here pops the inkjet, gets the trade onto Taylor. Enemy team here, farto pops the missiles and the armor. And it looks like they're 2 down here, only Bandit shooting at the tower, getting a kill onto Lewis, getting chased by this machine, but Taylor is already there to assist him. The machine does go down. The NZAP is still coming from spawn. Morsa drops onto tower, gets picked off by the enemy team. Farto with the successful hold and defense on their side of the map.
Hey, do you like VJet? Do you like pushing tower? Okay, well, if you're fighting against the VJet, you can't push the tower, because that's exactly what just happened there. Bandit just raining Holy Justice onto the tower while it's going through that first checkpoint, and even when Rising Wave, Metawave made that choice to push back to push him out of position, Taylor was already respawned by that time, and they essentially lost the fight off the back of it. There are specials on deck for Rising Wave right now. They have a position to defend, but to be honest, they don't want to be defending right now. They want to be pushing. They want to be on that aggressive positioning, and they're not quite getting the chance. They're just getting held on their plat without much of an option to push. Now, look, farto, they're dying. They're losing the fight most of the time, but that doesn't really matter, because for Metawave, they have to push just a little bit extra to even get into mid to start their own push.
Farto here is dying, as you said, but they're dying on the opposing side of the map, which means that they are taking space, and that is really important. We don't see that many deaths when when Metawave is defending, but that's because they don't try to push in that much. And when they do die in times that don't want to see them die like their sloshing machine there. And Morsa gets the trade, but not that helpful to the push as Farto takes back control of mid once again.
Yeah, Farto looking again to make another, well, lengthy push, I'd assume. They do have positioning now to start pushing it a little bit further. If I was them, I'd want to put the tower on bat, well, just on the bats, which I mean, they're basically doing right now. They do have the armor down, and they're looking towards that push, but honestly, I don't like this from Bandit. He's pushed up kind of alone. Yeah, taking the opportunity to move back. Love to see that, as the Tints missiles come out as well, so... Again, they're just holding them in spawn at this point. Look, it's kind of one-sided as Farto hold this tower, which is crazy, right? Because we just watched Metawave absolutely demolish them on two Splatters.
Yeah, they really have 20 seconds left on the counter, and Taylor is just dancing around the enemy spawn. He even popped missiles on the enemy spawn, which is unconventional, I will say. Looping back onto the tower, and this looks so safe for Farto right now. It looks like a 2-1 is about to happen in this set.
Yeah, and yeah, loving to see that from Farto, making a bit of a comeback on tower control. Again, tough position to be in. They've got to make a reverse sweep to keep this one back, but looking strong nonetheless.
Yeah, it's really crazy what can happen when you just change the game rules. And by that, I mean, you change the mode. If one mode isn't working, try another one. That's the magic of counterpicks. And I think tower control really suited their pace, or Farto's pace in this case, a lot more. And maybe it had to do a bit with Bandit changing from the Charger class to that V-Jet, which accompanies the rest of his shooter teammates a lot better, or a lot more fluider. And yeah, it was really great to see a different Farto in this game compared to the other maps.
I'll use my big words. It allowed for more dynamic aggression, I'd say, coming out from Farto. You know, with that Charger, like you said, it's a lot more stagnant. You're staying in one place. But when you've got that V-Jet, you can be more aggressive and have that backup from range from a lot more varied angles without having to worry about your V-Jet's safety and that crucial special. Well, I say missiles, but you know, that crucial long range support. So great coming out from Farto. That being said, it's in Metawave's hands right now to bring it to the next map. And I mean, look, they did great on 2 splat zones. Oh, what? You know what? I don't get it. It looks like Metawave.
You don't have to get it. You don't have to get it.
You guys haven't seen this yet. Metawave decided, you know what? Tower control. We lost that last one on tower control. We can take it back to tower control. So they're taking it back to tower control. So they're bringing the tower control out on Make 'em Art. Interesting choice.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm trying to think why.
I can't find out why either. Who knows why they do what they do? Look, people are weird. Maybe they just want to beat them at their own game. I don't know.
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
My theory is Bungie _73, as the cool kids call him, really wants to play Ken's Machine? So he goes to a bucket map? I don't know. Let's find out. I'm genuinely curious. I really want to see what is going on in Metawave's frames. Oh, and nope.
Nope.
None of that. Well, play it out.
Okay.
Go. Let's go.
Alright, let's see the double missile Booyah armor from Metawave and, well, the same comp from last time, I believe, coming out from Farto, who seem to have reached a place that they think that they can start taking these games like a comp that works for them. And missiles come out almost immediately, armor comes out almost immediately, and Metawave are already kind of on a back foot here. They lose Morsa quite early on in the fight. They lose another member again, and it's Farto making a runaway push already.
Yeah, already one of their team members forced to jump out, and this is no good at all. The opposing team, Farto, is already past the first checkpoint as Q is aggressing onto the enemy plat with this Inkjet. Unfortunately, the armor is a bit late. Morsa does go down, so they do get the revenge kill. But they've reached the second checkpoint. I doubt they will clear it, but that is a pretty good push for the first minute.
Hey, look, you're playing Maker. Got that first checkpoint. You got to get over the edge on that first checkpoint, what usually stops people from getting over that edge on the checkpoint? Well, it's usually bombs and a little bit of aggression from a long-range weapon. Unfortunately for Metawave, they don't have that long-range weapon. And now if they want to make that push of their own, they're going to have to get past the V-Jet, missiles, and triple bombs, which is not fun. So they're going to have to pull out a bunch of the specials, or, you know, a bunch of kills, like they're doing right now. They take out both T-Techs, or both the mainline shooters, and it's just the V-Jet and the NZAP to hold it.
Yeah, they'll make quick work of this first checkpoint for sure. And unfortunately, Sawangi gets caught out by that bomb, and the tower is forced a bit back. The tower rider, yeah, there he goes. The flings that does go down. Very good double teaming from Q and Taylor, as we already saw in this set, and that's control going back to Farto. But that was a pretty good counter push. Ooh, and Bandit getting pushed there. Maybe he won't get killed. He doesn't. Okay, the aggressor does jump out. But yeah, so yeah, Farto does have control right now.
Yeah, keeping control, keeping lead, keeping paint for the most part. They're not really got the specials on board. They use most of their specials to get back in. They've got an Inkjet. Oh no, never mind. The Inkjet armor comes online, and hopefully, it looks like they're holding onto it just for now. They're letting Metawave push in. They're letting them take the space. They're letting them burn all their specials to do that, and then they can literally just bust out the armor jet, which they've just done to clear that tower up. Missiles come out too. I mean, it's just another day in the life of the V-Jet main when another set of missiles get popped. I think that puts Bandit up to 6 missiles already. So, well on track for 12 this game. Looking pretty solid for him, as for the most part, Metawave just get pushed back to mid, even though they maintain tower control.
Yeah, they try to push back in as they push into the 40s now. Missiles getting popped from the side of Farto, as well as the toxic mists on tower, denying entry to that little choke point. The members of Metawave dancing around the tower. Enemy team pops the armor, pops the missiles. Ham does pop the missiles of his own, but it just seems like a stalemate. Hopefully now with the armor, Metawave can try to aggress onto the tower, but no, their NZAP player does go away, and even with this Booyah getting popped onto the top left, it seems like Farto is ready to come into mid full force, especially with these missiles getting popped. 1 minute 30 left on the clock. It is looking bad for Metawave right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some good attempts at pushes here, but they just can't quite get it to that second checkpoint. And it's not been working out for them, and I don't think that's a case of them playing bad. I think it's just Farto just have a really good hold for that sort of basin area of the map, that lower down area. They can just kind of throw bombs down, throw a bit of missiles down, just be annoying. As well, Q is moving back and forward like a schizophrenic right now. He's doing his spanner dashing. He's got his old Splatoon 1 tech out, and kind of bamboozling the rest of Metawave as they do manage to get past that checkpoint. Not much of an extra push on top of that. Taylor, what are you doing, Taylor? Are you okay? I was gonna say if he got the kill there, that would have been insane.
Get one.
Yeah, but he went straight back into the fight with a 1v2. But that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because he gets his one, and Metaverse can't quite get back in because Farto remain in control of the mid.
Yeah, they do. They have full control of this top left side, this left stack. As their armor gets popped, they are ready for this armored up enemy team to push into them. They do get 2 picks already. One of their enemies is alone on the left side, gets sniped by Q's Inkjet, putting in work this entire game. And with 4 seconds left, I don't think there's any coming back from that. And that's a 2-2. Might we be looking at a reverse sweep, Toby?
I want one. I want one. Look, there's a part of me that says I want a reverse sweep, and there's a part of me that says I don't want anybody else to have to commentate over a team called Farto. So, honestly, it could go either way. Maybe if they change their name, maybe I'll root for them. I don't know, man. What about you? Like, what are we thinking here?
That is a big statement. That's a great. I don't think there's any other way I would have wanted you to answer that question.
Well, you wanted me to say I love Farto. Oh, I just love Farto.
No, I like your original answer then. I really do. Well, I don't know. I'm reading chat right now, and we got someone saying that their name at least is very memorable.
Yeah, it's based Farto.
I don't know if it's based because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm not gonna remember a team named Farto. I'll remember watching and casting and experiencing some great Splatoon live, might I add. But I don't think I'll remember the name Farto. I don't know.
I remember
Maybe I'm
being
lying to
on.
myself.
I'll tell you, what, I remember being on the SuperJump 2 live stream on IPL Splatoon because you know what else I'll be doing tomorrow around this time? I'll be watching day 2 of IPL Splatoon SuperJump.
What?
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
a day 2?
There's a day 2,
What?
and we'll get to see one of these teams in the alpha bracket on day 2.
Whoa! Is that where all the big boys play?
That's where all the big boys play. I mean, we are watching Redemption right now. They're trying their best to get up and play with the big boys, and Farto just really wants to play with the big boys.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
well, okay. Since we have some downtime right now while we wait for the 5th and last map of the set to get picked, can we clarify to everyone watching what we're doing right now? What is Redemption Bracket exactly, Toby?
Okay. Look, you put me on the spot here. I should know this. I do know this. I'm kidding you. Redemption bracket. So we watched groups earlier, and in groups you have the top member of the group progressing into alpha already. So they're already they played like 4 matches or 5 matches or something, and progressed into groups. The rest of the teams got kind of put down, and the 2nd and 3rd and 4th place teams in those groups got put into Redemption bracket. Now we've already had Redemption's Wave A. We're on Redemption's Wave B, with the last ones of the night. And in Redemption's Wave B, we watch teams 3 and 4 play against each other, and then they move on to play the 2nd place team from the normal groups brackets. And whoever wins the Redemption bracket, or comes first in the Redemption bracket, will move on to Alpha bracket like they won their group. Just simple as that. So it's a great way to get teams to get some more games in, and it's a great way to get more games in, and it's a great way to get players to have more experience against each other. And we'll also get to see great matches like this, Farto versus Metawave. And whichever team wins out of these two is going to go up to Alpha Bracket, because they are, at least Farto was the second, was it Wave? Farto was the third?
Metawave was second.
Yeah, Metawave was 2nd seed and Farto was the 3rd. So one of those 2 teams is now going to go to Alpha, and the other other of these 2 is going to go to Beta, as well as the 3rd place team in the Redemption. So we're looking towards seeing these teams sort of maybe progress themselves further in the SuperJump tournament and make it to that day 2.
Okay. I like that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Toby, for clarifying. I think now we all know what we're watching and why
Yeah.
we're watching.
That's great. I love to hear that. Everybody should know what they're watching and who they're watching. That's right. Your casts today are me, I'm Draganuto, and you've got Matt Ninja. Wow.
Hello.
I am Matt Ninja. I love Matt. Matt Ninja, what do you think about what do you think about Farto?
I think that's a wonderful name. Wonderful name. Not. I was joking. I hate the name Farto. But you know what I also hate? I hate the fact that the current casters aren't talking about the counter-picked map tower control starfish. So get
Right.
on it! Thank you, Matt.
You know, you
Thank
went a bit
Matt.
Welsh at the end there. Yeah, so get on it. You went a bit Welsh towards the end of that. That's pretty funny. But no, we got Tower Control Starfish. You're right, Matt. Me and Dora can take over now. Tower Control Starfish, which again, a bit of a weird choice from Metawave. I'm not sure why you bring this back to Tower Control after losing the last 2. Which is, look, again, they're desperate to win on Tower Control at this point. I think they just want to. They got a bit closer in that last game, but Farto definitely looking stronger on this map mode combination. This is game 5 now. This is map 5. So it's all to play for. Whoever wins this moves on to the alpha side of the bracket, which I'm very curious to see how this one plans out as we progress into our final game of this set.
Tower Control Starfish is the map, and yeah, this is very, very high stakes. It's go in or go out. So yeah, here we go. Metawave versus Farto, last game. We do see Bandit still on the V-Jet, which we love to see, and Nikaido here, a sub from the side of Metawave, holding the C-Jet, going for that Stingray. Quick missiles, quick armor from both teams. Q does go down. Sorry, Toby, I completely glossed over you, but Morsa just got a pick. I'm not even sure how he managed to do that, but it seems like Metawave is ready to ride this tower. Morsa here charging the Booyah Bomb, but Farto here with the armor ready to push back into mid. One player down, that is Morsa going down. This is full control for Farto. They are ready to get on the tower, pop the missiles, and they will pop the armor in approximately 10 seconds, I will assume. And with the Stingray going out, it's looking grim, but it's looking grim for both teams as the NZAP and Sabongi do go down from the side of Metawave.
Yeah, Farto finally getting some control here. They managed to take out 3 people, that is. And then they're looking Q, looking to be really aggressive right now. I can see him eyeing that great. I don't... Okay, you know, Inkjet's Inkjet. He's going to spam that one. Maybe get a pick? Yeah, just pick one of them. And the missiles come out too, so... I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that second checkpoint on this first push, which is exactly what they did, or at least exactly where they got to on the last map on Mako. So maybe looking for a similar thing here. Or, you know, just to knock it out, they're picking up a load of distance before they get taken down. 23 on Starfish, that's nothing to snuff at, as Metawave have a mountain to climb here already, only a minute and a half into the map.
Yeah, that is a very, very strong push in the early phases of the match, as we saw in the previous map going out from Farto. Sabongi here pops the missiles, trying to delay entry into mid for the enemy team. And Metawave has 3 of their 4 specials halfway on this set of missiles ready. I didn't mean to say specials. The missiles do get popped, the ray does get popped, and the armor did get popped. Now the last set of missiles does get popped as the C-Jet goes down. This is looking like such disconnected play from Metawave, but it seems like Farto isn't making work of it. And as I say that, every special gets popped, and Q goes on a rampage, gets 2, maybe 3, couldn't really tell. But it's full control for Farto once again, and with a push to 23, this is looking like it's already over.
It is looking pretty strong from them. Metawave just can't get into it. It's not like Splatoon for them, and well, it's just not working out. It's just really not working out. And look, I love Splatoons like anybody, but you gotta practice the other modes. And it's looking like Farto spent more time practicing the other modes because they've just been putting the work on Metawave right now. Opportunity though for Metawave. They took a pick. They took mid. The Stingray does come out. Doesn't quite pick up Bandit. Oh no, it doesn't quite pick up Bandit. Done a good job of surviving there. You know, CJ is great, but it's just not as good as VJ in the current meta, I don't think, because that Stingray just doesn't get the same value against armors that you'd expect from the past. Even though they have tower right now, every single member of Farto is still alive, and they've still got a presence on the tower as they wipe the rest of Metawave.
That was such beautiful execution on the 2 opponents down in mid. They both died simultaneously. And I don't know, that was just really satisfying to me. Bandit here riding the tower. There's 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock. Bandit gets yet another pick, pops the missiles to assist Q's Inkjet. Unfortunately, everybody is out of reach from the Inkjet. Sabongi here drops onto the left side, does go down. Stingray on this last effort to get them off tower. Not even aiming at the tower, doesn't need to. Everybody's outside the tower. Morsa drops, showering on that splash wall. And Nikaido there drops to assist him, but Morsa is so stuck right now, drops another splash wall, manages to stay alive, pops the Booyah. This is probably one of, if not the last opportunity for Metawave to take that mid, but Taylor with the flank along with Q.
Oh my god.
They get 3 kills, it's a bloodbath.
That's the second time they've done that. That's the second. The coordinated kills coming out from Farto right now is actually impressive. They just, every time they take these wipes, they basically do it all in one go. They take out every single member all at once. And it's not for a lack of trying from Metawave. They're playing up a really good front here. They've had some decent presence, but they just keep getting outplayed at every last little step towards where they need to go to. Sabongi on the flank looking for another, immediately picked off. There is a trade, but Cam can't get anything done as Taylor picks up another 2, and that's a full wipe from Metawave. Farto now taking the last game to complete the reverse sweep, and Farto moving on to Alpha Bracket and completing their redemption bracket run.
I thought I'd be activating the commentator's curse, even just by saying the words reverse sweep. But it seems like the real people that I cursed were the commentators of tomorrow. that will inevitably have to say the word farto in their cast.
Can we like make it so they have to change their name? Like, can we ask Taylor?
I don't think we have that much power
No.
in the world, but
Please.
leave them be. If they want to be farto, let them be farto.
Let them be farto. Let them be a fart. Like just a fart of a people. That's just who they are now. Nonetheless, I think that brings us through to the end of SuperJump Day 1, right? That's the last thing we're going to be seeing today.
Might just be.
Might just be. So, a pretty solid set of gameplay coming out from Metawave. Unfortunately, not enough to get them into Alpha Bracket, but they do have the Beta Bracket to go into tomorrow. So we're looking towards seeing that one. And yeah, I've heard no change. Farto good. So we're gonna see Farto. It is the name that they're gonna be going with. Thank you, Farto. All the commentators tomorrow are really happy with your choice, calling yourself Farto. They won't be upset at all to have to call you Farto. The whole set.
Well, yeah. You know what I'm not upset by?
What are you not upset by, Dora?
Riptide 2022, baby! I'm not upset by Riptide. Oh, I wish I was going. I really do. But if you want to go, guys, you might want to type !Riptide in chat to know everything about Riptide, which will be at the Kalahari in Sandusky, Ohio, September 9th through 11th. Splatoon, Smash, Rivals, everything. It'll be the first LAN ever to even feature Splatoon 3, which will be released on the day of the event. It's crazy.
You know, I don't think Farto are going to Riptide, but you could be the Farto of Riptide.
You could. You really could. You could also be the Farto of Big House 10, in case you're not going to Riptide.
Speedrun! Event ads announcement, speedrun, let's go! Come on to Big 10! Big House 10, first LAN! To crown a Splatoon 3 champion, proper one, they say, even though Riptide's got it, but it's more of an actual championship of Big House 10. October 7th through October 9th in Detroit, Michigan. It's going to be full of awesome events, amazing vendors, and good friends. Alright, split. What's the next one, Dora? What's the next one?
It's Shine 2022. You talk about it. You're going, Toby.
Oh, I am going to Shine 2022. You're right. That's coming out next month, August 26th to the 28th in Worcestershire, Massachusetts. Well, it's not Worcestershire, it's Worcester, Massachusetts. I don't want to start on this again. Come and join Splatoon 2's last in-person event and get a shot at winning cash and art prizes. The competitor passes will increase in price in 2 days on the Monday. So if you want to go, buy your tickets now. Otherwise, they're going to be a little bit more expensive. Next one, Dora. Come on, bring me through it. What's the next?
Next, we got Launch Point Draft Cup, which will be the 10th. So that's the first double-digit Launch Point Draft Cup, which will be on August 7th at 5 p.m. UTC. And to celebrate the 10th edition, there will be a first place prize, which is a full set of Libra stickers. And furthermore, there will be a raffle for 3 lucky players that will win the same exact set of Libra stickers as well. So if you want to sign up now, and you can do it in discord.io/MalowyIT. That is MULLOWAYIT.
Okay. And next we've got Minnow Cup, single mode, Splatoon, in Splatoon 2, coming out soon, August 6th, 5 p.m. UTC, 1 p.m. EDT. Make a splash and follow MalowyIT on Twitter and join the Discord server to grab the Minnow Cup role for more information. And moving on, we've got. I'll read out last one as well, just so we go nice and quick. Freshwater Shoals, Day 1, introducing Freshwater Shoals, a new MalowyIT draft section for casual players. Just like Launchpoint, Freshwater will run drafts for the usual ranked modes, but with a twist. Players will also be able to queue for Turf War and minigame draft. Sign up at discord.io/MalowyIT anytime, and Freshwater will be open tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC, 10 a.m. EDT. So call your casual friends and spread the word, because this is one minigame party you don't want to miss. Okay, bring us out, Dora. Let's finish this one up.
Let's finish this one up, and let's finish it by saying, guys, be sure not to miss SuperJump 2, Day 2, tomorrow for the Alpha Bracket. Same stream, not the same people, same teams, kind of, but it'll be hype. You do have Farto, but it'll be hype. It'll be great. There's some great casters going on tomorrow. You probably know their names. Let's say Nine, Rissa, K-Bot, all these people. And yeah, be sure not to miss it. As you can see on your screen right now, Day 2 resumes tomorrow. And that is the conclusion of Day 1. Toby, where
Yes,
can
Matt.
people find you?
People can find me at Dragonuto. How about yourself, Matthew?
Well, Matthew Fox, I'm Matthew Ninja. You can find me on Twitter at ninja_. And me, the person who actually casted Duracell, you can find me on Twitter as well at Duracell_DLC. And yeah,
Perfect.
that's it.
Love to hear it. All right.
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a wonderful evening.
Have a lovely evening, guys.